I'm getting a late start, but I'm here. Let's see, let's watch AV. I think they went to lunch already, so we're gonna watch AV for a little bit.
Day or two before you got locked up? When you all got to Perry Homes, who was it that got out and shot at that time?
I don't know.
Did Tay, D, and Shannon get out and shoot at Perry Homes?
Who?
Tay, D, and Shannon.
Only person was there was me and Dallas.
So is that a no?
I never saw Shannon that day or no tape.
Would you answer whether that's a no? When I ask you, did Tay, D, and Shannon?
You trying to push people there who want
I'm trying to just ask you a question. Did Tay, D, and Shannon get out and shoot at Perry Homes?
No.
Okay. Did you tell the police that Tay, D, and Shannon got out and shot at Perry Homes?
I don't know.
Do you remember how many guns you all had in total?
100.
Did anybody else join you all other than the ones that either you talked about today or that you told the police were with you? Huh?
I don't understand that question.
Did a person named Lee ever join you all?
No.
Did you tell the police that a person named Lee joined you all?
No.
Did you tell the police that a person named Lee got out and shot with a handgun?
No, no, damn Lee.
You don't know a handgun?
I don't know a Lee.
And do you remember telling the police that Lee was in the car with Tay and them because that was Tay's friend?
I don't know. Keep putting people down.
Did you get dropped off at Sylvan Road after all this happened?
I don't know.
Did you get dropped off at a Chevron by 166?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police that you got dropped off
I don't know.
on Sylvan Road at the Chevron by 166?
Objection. 403.
Sustained. What are you laughing at, lady? Ain't none of that funny. Sustained means
Do you
sustained.
remember who dropped you off
You did.
after I did?
Yeah.
Did you tell the police I did?
I ain't want them to know we were messing around.
Okay.
Oh!
Now, did you tell the police that Summer's cousin?
Hold on. What did he just say? Let's go back.
Yeah.
Did you drop you off? Do you remember who dropped you off
You did.
after I did?
Yeah.
Did you tell the police I did?
I ain't want them to know we were messing around.
Okay, what just happened there? So little D is a little his mouth is far from the mic. So Love just got an objection sustained, so she's frazzled, right? So she goes around the table to get some other things from her side of the desk, and she's still continuing her questions. She's like, "Can you tell us who dropped you off or whatever?" And he looked and said, "You did." And she's just like, "I did? Did you tell the police like back then that I dropped you off?" He said, "Yeah, I didn't want everybody to know we were messing around." Little D is a wild boy right now. This is insane.
Now, did you tell the police that Summer's cousin dropped you all off at the house?
No.
Was Summer scared to go back to her house?
Objection calls for speculation.
Establish a basis and you can ask it. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Well, you're the one that just did it.
Stop talking back and forth to each other. You need to turn on your mic. Go ahead and ask the question if you can establish a foundation.
Did Summer have her own car when you got dropped off at Chevron by 160?
Why you keep asking me about another female?
Just answer the question.
I don't know. I don't know.
Did Summer let her cousin keep her car?
I don't know.
Did Summer indicate that she was letting her cousin keep her car because she was scared to go back to the house?
Objection calls for hearsay.
Sustained.
Did you tell the police that Shannon and other people in the car with you were swine?
I ain't ever saying that like that.
You never said anything like that?
No.
Okay, is Shannon swine?
No.
Was Milton swine?
I don't know.
Why do you know Shannon wasn't, but you don't know Milton?
Shannon ain't grow up with us.
What does that have to do with him being swine?
A lot.
Please tell us how.
Answer the question.
I don't know, Your Honor.
So, who else was swine?
You?
What did you have to do?
He said love is slime.
I don't even know what the hell slime is.
Since you say you don't know what it is, did you know on August 5th, 2015 what slime is?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police
Slatty.
that they call themselves slime because they be stealing stuff?
All day.
Did you call themselves slime?
I don't know who called themselves slime.
But did you tell the police? They call themselves slime because they be stealing.
If I told them that means I had to know who was slime. I don't know who's slime.
Would you do?
I don't remember when I was in prison. I fell and hit my head.
Did you tell the police?
This is insane.
Describe that for the police.
I don't know.
Did you tell the police slime means there are no rules, basically?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police, like, I slime that means is a proper way to use slime?
Answer the question.
I'm thinking, Your Honor. No.
Did you tell the police that if you were cool with someone, you could rob them and it would be like you just slimed with them?
I don't know.
Does slime also mean that there's no voice?
I don't know.
Why were you ever slimed?
falling
I
asleep.
don't know what no slime is.
So then you should know whether or not you were ever slimed.
No, I wasn't.
And why were you never slimed?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police that they would never let you hang?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police that it was also because your brother and Motu didn't really want you hanging around them like that?
Let me, there I go, trying to make Mook Tank look good again. I don't know.
Okay, so you did tell the police that?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police that, let me ask you this, do you have a brother named Tay?
You don't speak on my brother.
The brother that hung with the Motu,
My brother ain't never home with Mook Tank.
the brother that didn't want you hanging around him?
Where the hell is slime? Why you gonna keep talking about my brother? I just told you that.
Did Motu and your brother not want you hanging around?
You're not gonna keep talking about my brother, bro. That's a sensitive spot for me. You're not gonna keep talking about my brother. That's just something I probably told him to make Mook Tank look good. I don't know.
Is that yes or no? Did Motu want you or not want you to hang around Demikion and Woody now?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police that Motu was slime?
I don't know.
Do you know how or if 30 Deep and Cleveland Avenue linked up? Do you need
No,
a break or anything?
no.
Okay. So do you know, or did you tell, first of all, do you know whether or not 30 Deep and Cleveland Avenue ever linked up?
No.
Did you tell the police that you did?
Oh, that was something I read in a newspaper article.
What newspaper article?
I don't remember that jump years ago.
Did you, years ago, before August?
I read it in my discovery package too.
Okay. Did, whose discovery package?
I don't know, somebody I locked up with.
All right. Did you tell the police that initially 30 Deep and Cleveland Avenue didn't mess with one another? They didn't hang around one another?
I don't know.
And that they didn't start hanging with one another until Thug started pushing with Woody?
I don't know.
Did Thug's relationship with Woody kind of bring everybody together?
Objection calls for speculation.
Did Thug's relationship with Woody bring you in closer to Slime?
I just told you I don't know no slime here.
But you said you hung with him though, right?
When I said that,
Did you ever hang with him?
I don't know what it is.
Okay. Did you ever hang or tell the police that you hung with him?
I don't know what it is.
Did you tell the police that Thug starting to push it with Woody is what caused you to start hanging around Slime?
No.
Tell the jury how it is that you and Woody got close.
I don't know.
Did you tell the police that the only reason you and Woody got close is because you hung with Moontoon and Moontoon was hanging with Thug?
I don't know.
Now, do you remember telling the police, or had you all ever had a problem with Mechanicsville? And by you all, I mean Slime, YSL, any of the people that you said earlier you're close with?
Who I
Had
said
you
I was
all
close
ever
with?
had a problem with Mechanicsville?
Who I said I was close with earlier?
Let's start with Slime. Did Slime ever have a problem with Mechanicsville?
What is Slime?
Did YSL ever have a problem with Mechanicsville?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police, we've never had a problem with Mechanicsville?
When have I ever told the police I was Slime?
Did you tell the police that we have never had a problem with
And
Mechanicsville?
when have I ever said I was Slime?
I'm going to ask you that question in a moment. Did you ever say to the police, we have never had a problem with Mechanicsville?
I don't know.
He did say that. He saw it in the newspaper, and then he did say he couldn't read. Shout out to QB for catching that.
Your Honor, at this point, there is a line of questioning that deals with the matter that was raised by one of the defendants earlier. that
All
I need
right,
to
let's
approach.
take our lunch break and we can sort it out over lunch. So y'all be back here at 1:30, please.
All right. Look at us. We've accumulated all the TiVo time. That brings us current to, hold on, let me just make sure they didn't do anything after. Because it does look like Max is about to say something.
Raised by one of the defendants earlier. that
All
I need
right,
to
let's
approach.
take our lunch break and we can sort it out over lunch. So y'all be back here at 1:30, please.
It's 1:10 on the East Coast, so they'll be back in 20 minutes. Hopefully this guy gets some.
Mr. Zachary, you could step back and be back at 1:30 also. Thanks.
Hey, y'all, they keep taking my phone, man. They keep taking my phone.
We'll discuss that in just a second, okay? You could, hang on, just so we can discuss it.
It does not look comfortable.
Do y'all have his phone with, is his phone around somewhere? You can let him use it in, as long as supervised, yes.
What
Okay,
you mean, long as supervised, Joe?
Somebody else is gonna be in the room with you.
What, I'm on a risk?
No,
So what, like, I pay that phone.
you're
bill.
in the middle of testifying, so those are gonna be the conditions, but you can use it.
I ain't never agreed on them conditions.
It doesn't really matter whether you agreed to it or not.
Yeah, I violate all my
All
rights.
You can step down, and you're welcome to use your phone in the presence of the investigator right now. After you finish testifying, you'll have it back without any other conditions.
That's messed up. You want to know why? Because Woody had a very similar setup where Woody was in custody when he started, right? And then he was released. He had the immunity deal, but they let Woody have his phone the whole time. Woody was like on breaks going live. That's interesting that they're taking his phone away while he's testifying, but they did not treat Woody the same way. Crazy. Let's see what else happens here, because I think there was some, I thought I saw Max stand up. So let's see what else goes on.
All right, yes, ma'am, Ms. Love.
Your Honor, actually, Mr. Atkins just pointed out that the court had made a ruling on
Okay,
this portion, so my apologies for
all
stopping the
right, no
question.
problem,
Well-
and we needed to eat lunch anyway.
Well, can I ask what
Yes,
we're talking about? Because there are some issues in Mr. Zachary's prior statements,
unresolved ones?
unresolved, that the state was, that Your Honor said that the state was going to have to lay a
Oh,
foundation
yeah,
through Mr. Zachary. And I'm not talking about prior and consistent statements. I'm talking about
Right,
subject
things,
matters.
yeah. Well, I mean, yes, if I said that, then yes, that the
This wasn't one
foundation
of
needs
them,
to be
but
laid.
yeah, this
Good point,
was
Pam.
one of them, and I have in front of me those.
Huh?
That wasn't one of them.
So everybody's all good then?
I am. I mean, the state is, Your Honor.
Okay. All right.
Okay, oh, I'm sorry, just, if there's no foundation laid for someone to have firsthand knowledge or admissible knowledge of something, that would mean the state and Ms. Love cannot get up there and start asking leading questions. Didn't you say, didn't you say, didn't you say? Because that would defeat the whole purpose of us litigating it prior.
Do you understand what she means there, Ms. Love?
Judge, I'm very well aware of the rules of evidence, and I fully understand what Mr. Sharp is arguing, and I know what we can and cannot do, and I will follow the court's previous instructions and the rules of evidence.
Okay, so just so we're really clear, if there was something that you needed to lay a foundation for his knowledge of before he could testify about it, then you're going to have to establish he has a basis for knowing it before you ask him. Do you remember telling the police that?
Of course.
All right. Yes, sir.
Your Honor, can you ask the state to direct me to where, when that they had a good faith belief to ask the question to Mr. Zachary that he told the police the name Philip Collins? I don't have that in my notes, and if it's in the transcript, I just missed it, or in the recording.
Judge, first I said Philo, and I asked him because everybody knows it's in all the information we've provided to the defense. And I think without looking back on prior testimony, at least one witness may have discussed the fact that Philip Collins was Philo, but I will confirm that. But Mr. Steele is very well aware that Philo is Philip Collins. That's in everything that we've given
That's
him.
not what he is. He's saying, did you,
The good faith basis
did you, yeah, that Zachary told the police that.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I can show it to him. I sure can.
Okay.
It is on page. Let me see. And I know that he may have probably just overlooked it. So it is on page.
Just scrambling and scraping. Let's scrape
And
scrambling.
As I'm looking for the transcript portion, I can tell you that in the interview where right before they start talking about going over to Harry Holmes, they were asked, the police asked
That's what you get for having a big ass.
Mr. Zachary, here it is. Who drives the gray Charger? Backing up to somebody got shot that night. Mr. Zachary was asked by Gaither, do you remember what time they shot at him? She asked whether it was right after Demekion got jumped. And Gaither asked, how do you know it was these people? We're talking about the guys from If Gang, right?
No, she's
Mr. Zachary says, yeah.
What
She's
age?
saying what car they were in. Gaither asked, which car were they in? Mr. Zachary says, a gray Charger. Gaither asked, and these are some of the questions that they said, 403, irrelevant and all that were sustained. Gaither asked, who drives a gray Charger? And Mr. Zachary said, that boy, Philo, and his name D, he drove Philo's little brother. He drove, D is Philo's little brother. He drove that car. And then Gaither says, Philo and D. And Gaither says, so Philo and D, they shoot at them. And Zachary says, yes. And that's when she asked him, was
Okay, so
anybody?
is there a last name Collins in there anywhere? I think that's what he's
Phil-
asking.
So, Your Honor, what I said is
I can't.
something about Philo or Philip Collins. Philip Collins is Philo.
Okay, but that's not in the conversation he had with the police. That's just you asking him, is it Philip Collins?
Yes, that's exactly right. And Your Honor,
Okay.
he asked what good faith basis I had for asking, and I'll tell you that when he said Philo and his little brother D, and we've heard testimony from one witness, I won't call it, she's a lay witness, who said that her sister's children were Darren and Philo or Philip Collins, and that Darren is younger than Philip Collins. They objected when I asked about the age. The court sustained that. But we will also hear testimony. I believe we've heard
Okay,
some.
so the question was, I think, or the objection or the request for clarification was where you have a good faith basis for asking if, or suggesting that he told the police Philip Collins.
That's not what he said. He said, do the state have a good faith basis for asking if he knew Philip Collins?
Okay, so they have a good faith basis for asking if he knew, and apparently it's not in the transcript that he ever used the last name.
Well, I'll find the exact quote over lunch, but this is why I'm objecting to the prosecutor suggesting things.
Well, she can
without-
ask, was it Philip Collins? And he can say, I don't know, because I don't know Philo anyway,
I'll get
or
the
whatever
exact
he's gonna
quote,
say.
because I don't
Okay.
believe that's how it was framed, but I'll get the exact quote.
Okay, well, I don't think it's particularly material whether he used the last name or not in talking to the police, because he's essentially saying at this point, I don't remember anything, I don't know anything, I don't know these people.
Your Honor, I find it material that a lawyer would say, looking at a transcript, and say to a witness.
All right, just go back and look then at what it was that she said, and there's no point us talking about it if we don't know exactly what it is. Okay, anything else before lunch?
Not on behalf of Mr. Williams.
Yes.
Just because we're talking about what the lawyer did and not the evidence is, I want to say that I didn't just look at a transcript. I listened to the interview a lot.
Okay. All right, thank you. We'll see everybody back at 1:30.
All right, so we have our TiVo time, and we've just run out of it. So it looks like they are scheduled to be back in about 10 minutes. In the meantime, we will check out our super chats of the day. And I will let you guys know, I do have a hard stop at 4 o'clock. I do have a meeting that I need to get to. It's really important. It has to do with YouTube. I'm meeting with my YouTube coaching team. So that's why I do need to jump at 4, but that's okay. From 4 to 5, I will actually take that hour of what we missed, and I'll start earlier tomorrow. So I'll be back here at 8:30. So that way y'all don't miss anything. If you do want to check it out, it's all right. So you can go to the channel. I would never encourage that, but I'm just letting you know the last hour, I do need to hop. So just giving y'all that expectation now. Shout out to the first super chat of the day. D with the 199 says, ain't no love in the heart of the city. Oh my God, absolutely, definitely no love in the heart of Atlanta. Under that Fulton County Bridge. Thank you so much, D. Good to see you. Shout out to Full Drinking and Half Thinking with the 10. Good morning to y'all. Hope y'all had a great weekend. Shout out to Lady C with the $10 super sticker. Thank you so much, Lady C. Shout out to Cindy C with the 5. Cindy says, I can't say if anyone is guilty, but I don't see any RICO so far. By the way, isn't judge supposed to be neutral? So biased, shake my head. I mean, she has been siding with the defense a little bit more lately, but we're not getting our hopes up. You never know with this judge. Got to be careful. So thank you so much, Cindy. Really appreciate you. Shout out to Peyton Sound with the 5 says, what we learned today is clear understandings of Miranda rights and why you should shut up without a lawyer. Pretty much. Because that's the other thing. Look at what just happened with his phone. You always want to be represented, even if your scenario is you do have to go with court appointed, even if you have to do that. And we saw Woody do it. After Melnick got discharged or suspended, Woody actually took a court appointed attorney because he wanted to make sure that somebody was there to protect his rights. Okay, so there's that part. But like what Little D did, and I'm still fact checking to see if he hired somebody. Little D said late Friday night that he was still going to testify without representation. That's like going raw dog, no protection in the legal system. What are you doing? Don't ever do that. If there's one thing you can learn from me, don't ever do it. Ever. Look, chat, look at me. Ever. Okay. You're going to have to answer to Mama AV if you do that. Thank you so much, Paint and Sound. Shout out to the Innocent Bystander channel. He has always been a member, but it looks like he had to renew his membership. Thank you so much, Innocent Bystander channel. Shout out to Adrian, who became a new member. Thank you so much, Adrian. Shout out to Mr. Patrick with the 5 says, is the open records trial with Ashley Merchant still going on? I haven't checked it today, but I am excited, guys. I might actually be getting Ashley on our show. All right, shout out to me. I'm getting close to it. I might actually do that, but I'm trying to make sure that she's all done with her hearings. She's also going to be involved in this case, and one of her clients is involved as well. So hopefully we can lock that down really soon, but I've been really excited to share that with you guys. I was kind of working on that last night through another person. So we might actually be able to get Ashley on the show and some of the other attorneys too. So don't, be patient. I'll let you know when, but just know that we're working on that. So thank you so much, Mr. Patrick. I have not checked though, so I'm not quite sure, but just know we might actually have her soon. Shout out to Beth, who became a member. Welcome, Beth. Really excited to have you on board. D is back with the 2, says, get him high to testify. What the F, Fulton County? Yeah. Little D was mentioning that he was high as a kite on Friday. So remember our poll? Y'all were right. He said that he was on morphine. He was on Percocets. He had like 5, I think a few medications he was on, but his doctor said that he was fine to testify. So his doctor cleared him. And, he wasn't happy this morning. He's just like, all my personal information is all over the internet because y'all are broadcasting this. So he wasn't very, very happy with that. But thank you so much, D. Really appreciate you. Shout out to Montisha with the 2, says, what is relevant about him graduating or not? Yeah, that was really, really silly questioning. She was stuck there. She couldn't get out of there for a really long time. That line of questioning where they were talking about, did you graduate? Did you go to an alternative school? What was the highest level of education you completed? Like, she was stuck there for I would say 10 minutes. Do you see how love just wastes so much time? It's crazy. Thank you so much, Montisha. Shout out to Kelly Kell, R2L with the 2. She says, AV, why is she doing this to this man and all of us? I don't know. Everybody's tired of her. And at the same time, she doesn't understand the word sustained. When something is sustained, that means that's it. Let it go. Right? Thank you so much, Kelly Kale. Shout out to the Little Gaming channel with the 10, says, are all these type of silly ass relevant questions she's going to ask all day? None of these prove nothing. She needs to get to the point. I pray for a mistrial. So many people are. Shout out to Legally Shay. I heard you went live yesterday. Legally Shay gifted y'all 20 memberships. Really, really proud of her. She has transitioned from being an attorney, being a huge pillar of this community, but also looking into the YouTube journey herself. Shout out to Legally Shay. I heard she was covering the Diddy stuff, and huge sister to this channel. Thank you so much, Legally Shay. We're cheering you on and really, really proud of you. Shout out to D with the 2, says, 87 pull a TLA. Now, y'all got my likes looking really, really good. So I did not lock you out. And as soon as I said it, y'all will immediately do it. Because I get it. Like, sometimes you could forget to hit the like button on your way in. It happens. No harm, no foul. Thank you so much, D. Shout out to the Golden Lounge, your stream sponsor. She says, trying to figure out the relevance of these questions is way too early for liability, love, and her BS. Yes. At 9 a.m., it's like, all right, love. Like, don't start slow. Start a little bit faster. We'll go from there. Shout out to Britt with the 20. Britt says, I love how these lawyers who think they are smart are getting outmaneuvered by people they think are uneducated. That's a good point, Britt. The lawyers just do not understand the education their witness have gotten from living in the world. Yeah, street smarts. Look at little Woody. How many times has that man been arrested, and how many times did he get off? How many times was he able to go home? He's only been, I think he only did time once. So, all those times when he was arrested, I think it was over 60, he said, I believe, somewhere around 60 times. And he learned through trial and error what works with the squirrel brains, what works with the non-squirrel brains. You take a little bit of the truth and a little bit of the lies, and you mix it. And apparently that works in Atlanta. So craziness. But thank you so much, Britt. Appreciate the generous super chat. Shout out to Montisha again with the 5, says, pray she has witnesses ready after him. Will the judge stand on business and strike them from the list? Probably. I mean, I would wait. Like, I would much rather watch Little D than our buddy who's coming up next. What is his name? Mr. Sprinkle. Well, you know, all I did is I took some YSL RICO charges, sprinkled them in there, and these guys did these crimes. I'm really not looking forward to that. So let's stick with Lil D for as much as possible. And we got a poll going on that says, how long is Lil D going to be on the stand? 66% of you right now think by the end of the week. We will see. And Max Shard had a prediction at the beginning of the week where, last week, where he's just like, Love is going to have him on for 4 days. We'll see if Max was right. We're taking bets right now. It is 1:29 p.m. They are due back at 1:30, so we are just waiting for them to come back from lunch, and we will continue on. Shout out to Siri with the 2. Thank you so much, Siri. No comment, no question. Pure love of the game. Appreciate you, Siri. Shout out to Donald with the super sticker. Donald's here with the super stickers. I like the super stickers. Thank you so much, Donald. Really appreciate you. Shout out to Dedra with she gifted 5 memberships. Dedra, very, very sweet of you. If y'all got one in that moment, I hope you said thank you to her. But Dedra, thank you so much for your commitment to helping this community grow. Very, very sweet of you. Shout out to Anthony, one of our smartest subscribers with the 5, says, hi, AV. Is a witness testifying or is Love interrogating? This will lose the jury. RICO moved on to Diddy. Yeah, she's it feels like an interrogation. He's not giving her anything. We know that. We know he's not giving her anything beyond the fact that he wants to go home and rest and take that ankle monitor off and be done with this whole thing. That's what everybody is doing. Y'all remember Intravia last week? Intravia was just like 5 minutes, I'm out, you know, and ready to go. Shout out to Just an Average Man with the 5, says the DA and cops continuously gaslighting everyone. They've been there for almost 0 free statements by these witnesses. Yeah, craziness. Thank you so much, Just an Average Man. Shout out to Anthony with the 5, says, Ashley, Love is the alligator in the tail, the gingerbread man. Y'all be going in. Shout out to the Golden Lounge with another 2, says liability, Love, and Whitaker is aging by the day. They are absolutely aging. Shout out to Ossison with the 2. No comment, no question. Pure love of the game. Thank you so much. Anthony back with another 2, says save that conclusion for closing arguments. Yeah, she was rambling, man. Just rambling, going on. And how many times when, you know, she's asked direct questions, there's this long, drawn out series of paragraphs. It's like she speaks in essays. Like, just essays. It's just like, okay, here's your intro. Here's body paragraph 1. Here's body paragraph 2. And then we eventually get the answer in paragraph 4. Unbearable. Thank you so much, Anthony. Shout out to Rockin' Robin LA. Good to see you with the 10, says, tell Love it's called pulling a Woody. This man has not had his meds and is in pain. I watch family members deal with that pain. She is pure evil. Yeah, sickle cell's no joke. And it really does impact the minority community. It does, because it's inherited. It is inherited, and it impacts Black people the most, you know? So thank you so much, Rockin' Robin LA. Shout out to Grammy 68, who became a member. Welcome, Grammy. Gonna love it here. We see you here all the time anyway. But welcome, Grammy. Shout out to TLGC with the 10, says, Love, you are doing this for yourself, to hear your own voice on the microphone. The jury don't give a shit at this point. I mean, they don't. They're checked out. Like, I would love to see what they look like and what their reactions are, but you guys know they do it to protect their privacy, that sort of thing. Thank you so much, TLGC. It is 1:32, guys. We're waiting for them to come back from lunch, so we're just waiting, and then we will jump on in. Shout out to Mars with the 5. Mars says they need to find out if this case a RICO or senseless crimes committed by hoodlums over a girl. That's the other thing. Antravia was dating, you know, 2 dudes at the same time, Moontunk and someone else. And Little D actually did one of the drive-bys with Moontunk, and Moontunk did some time. So did Little D, right? And here's the thing. I have still not heard, and I don't think you guys have heard either, how it ties back to Young Thug directly. Aside from renting these cars, we haven't seen it yet.
From the lunch hour.
Your Honor, the state said that it would bring back some case law. I have a little bit,
Thank you, Mars.
and I'll give the court.
Get back from lunch, guys.
copies, and I think I have enough.
We'll finish these later.
I have United States versus Johnson for the court and United States versus Stiegel. I'll give the court one of each, and I have a few copies left over for anyone who wants them from.
All right, and what's the basic position that is set forth in those cases?
Your Honor, I may have misheard one of my esteemed colleagues on the other side of the aisle earlier this morning, but I thought that I heard a complaint or an objection that if the state was intending to have a witness come in and say that they don't recall and then try to play the whole tape, they would object. I don't remember if that was the case, but if it was, that's one thing that should be considered. But the other, the one that is more pressing, is in United States versus Siegel, SIEGEL 536 F3rd 306 is a 2008 Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals case, and it is at Penn site 320. So it's on the 17th of the 23 pages that I gave to the court. Sure can, and Your Honor, if I may provide to Mr. Adams.
You may.
All right. Page 17 of 23, at the bottom, and I don't want to go into all the other, the court can.
Hold on. Is Thugger Daily in the chat? Shout out to Thugger Daily if he's here. Your number one source for all things YSL.
See the other portion, but the district court's decision to exclude other crimes evidence, and this is not an other crimes evidence situation, but was grounded in the court's concern about the length of time it would take to present the evidence. And of course, the Court of Appeals said that the district court is, of course, vested with authority, broad authority to control the manner of trial and presentation of the evidence. Nevertheless, the subject to the district court's reasonable management of cases brought to the court for trial, the government too has a broad discretion to prosecute crimes. Although we sympathize with the district court's concern about the length and complexity of the trial, we agree with the government that the district court excluded the other crimes evidence without sufficiently considering the importance of the evidence to the government's case.
Slow down just a tad.
My apologies.
For the court.
While the government could easily prove the fraud and identity theft charges against Siegel without the other crimes evidence, the 1512A1 Charlie charge, as we have previously discussed, requires the government to prove that Siegel killed Watkins for the purpose of preventing Watkins or others from giving law enforcement officials information about the crimes she had committed. It goes on to talk about how intent is a difficult element to prove, but other crimes evidence is highly probative of his intent. And the district court in that case, unlike in this case, completely unlike in this case, excluded the evidence in its entirety, whether there was other evidence that could establish the elements necessary to prove it. So also, as it flows down into the next few sections, it talks about, down in section 5, to summarize, we conclude we've got jurisdiction over appeal. They found that the information was admissible, and they concluded that the court had erred by striking down all of the evidence. That is not what this court is doing, but the reason that I'm bringing this case before the court
is mainly that the objection is being made that the evidence the state is presenting is either a waste of time or there's no relevance. There are 403 objections being made as we go through portions of the transcript. Before I get into tying that with the legal argument, I'd ask the court to look at as well United States versus Johnson, 89 F 4th 997 at
She speaks in paragraphs.
103 and 104. So it's page 9 of 15. And just briefly, in this particular case, the court decided that certain information was excluded, ruling that it had some probative value, but that ultimately they excluded it. The portion that I think is important is that at Penn site 103 going into 104, in denying the state's motion for reconsideration, the district court, or in denying, yes, the district court explained that the evidence was not central to the government's case, that the government had ample other evidence to prove possession, and it would be so highly prejudicial, it couldn't be mitigated by its proposed limits. Again, this is not the grounds that the court has made any ruling on. But as to the limits on other evidence, which the courts address on page 10 of 15, it says that it is true that the probative value of evidence is relative. The probative value of a single piece of evidence may decrease with every additional piece of evidence a party introduces to prove the same point. At the same time, the prosecution, with its burden of persuasion, needs evidentiary depth to tell a continuous story. The prosecution is not limited to providing bare bones proof of the elements of the crime, and the court is not telling us that that is what we have to do. So I don't want to confuse anybody, and certainly not the record, and suggest that. It is entitled to tell a colorful story with descriptive richness. Here, the government should not be required to sanitize its description of the firearm when the details are probative of possession. This is true even when other evidence relevant to possession is available to the government. And then it goes on to talk about Rule 403 and how they analyze it. And it talks about that a district court, how it can abuse its discretion when it so strictly or narrowly narrows the evidence that a litigant is essentially prevented from presenting his or her case. I'm not saying that the court is presenting us from limiting our whole case. What I'm saying is the previous paragraph is most pertinent, Your Honor, in that we have the burden of persuasion, which needs evidentiary depth to tell a continuous story. Of course, the information that we're eliciting from this witness is something that no one of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle is going to want the jury to hear from this witness. I don't believe that it is sincerely perceived as a waste of time when the jury has seen this witness and his demeanor, and they're going to have to weigh what this witness is saying today versus what they said at the time that they gave the police statement versus what he claims are his explanations for the differences. The court's going to give the jury the instructions at the end. There are nuances in this case. For instance, as I was listening back to Antonio Sledge's testimony, when my colleague across the aisle said that we had no good faith basis with respect to asking the witness whether he knew Philip Collins. In Mr. Sledge's, I think, factual acknowledgments, it flat out says that Philip Collins, I think, is Darren Mills's older brother. I think we say something like that. I went back and looked at some of the transcripts from the previous days in court, and I will get that to the court and to counsel as well. But there are nuances that go into the state proving that we need to show to meet our burden of persuasion, and that provides evidentiary depth to tell a continuous story. So when we are talking to this witness and asking certain questions, and I'll go back to asking one of the witnesses the age differences between two of her nephews, and there was a relevance objection as to the age of Darren Mills and the age of Philip Collins. And the witness testified that which one was older and which one was the oldest brother. So throughout this trial, the state is presenting evidence in the form of building blocks. There will be no, in a case this massive, one bullet that takes out everything. And by limiting the state, improving its case in the way that the state sees fit, the defense essentially seeks to sanitize our case and to prevent us from presenting and using the evidentiary depth at our disposal through our evidence to provide and tell a continuous story through each witness, which the defense has every right to come in and attempt to tear down, but which the state nor the people that the state is speaking on behalf of should be disadvantaged as a result of not being able to present.
All right.
I appreciate the court allowing me to share that with the court. And we also found the point where my colleague across the aisle said that if we
Okay,
call,
what exactly was said?
if you want to play it out loud, you going to pull it up? Pull it up for me. If we call Detective Gaither to the stand to play this, I will object. That's part of it. That's all that's written here. But I'm going to listen to all of it, where he says, if we are having him come here and say, I don't recall to everything, which we didn't expect him to do, Mr. Zachary, that is, that he would object to us.
Okay, that doesn't mean it would be sustained. I thought you were talking about the part that that Mr. Steele had raised about the Phillips last name. Did anybody find that and see exactly what that question was?
Oh, yes. So I didn't find the exact. So we're looking for the exact objection.
Okay, not the objection. Mr. Steele, Mr. Steele, what was your objection to?
That we did not have a.
Okay, my objection is the question was put to Mr. Zachary by the prosecutor. Did Mr. Zachary tell the police that this person's name is Philip Collins?
Okay, that's what I thought.
That's the question.
Your Honor, what I remember him saying was we didn't have a good faith basis for asking if he told the police that his name was Philip Collins.
Right.
What I said was, did you tell the police that his name was Philo or Philip Collins? I used Philo first, and then I said, or Philip Collins. And when he says that I don't have a good faith basis.
I know you have a good faith basis for thinking Philip's last name is Collins. Do you have a good faith basis for suggesting that he ever told the police that Philo was Philip Collins? Just, did he ever mention the last name to the police?
That's it.
Your Honor, in listening back to it, something so specific as did he mention the last name? I had a good faith basis because when the police are talking about Philip Collins and they name names and he's agreeing.
Did they say Philip Collins?
The name Philip Collins, I believe, was raised in the transcript, not the transcript, but the recording in the interview. I'll go back and find that as well.
If it was, fine.
But throughout, I did have a good faith basis, just like when I asked someone if they know Antonio Sledge when they call them Muntu.
Okay.
Oh my word! Almost 6 minutes of
I just have,
explanation.
and apologize. It's like children. That's how I feel.
Oh,
I'm like
you
a
got to
child.
go off.
It didn't happen. It's not in the transcript. It's not in the recording.
Oh,
Okay, so
right.
I'm just going to say that it is really not the be all end all of this case, whether the last name Collins is in the transcript. So let's move on from that. And Ms. Love, I appreciate the case law. And you are right that I am not excluding, evidence in its entirety. What I am trying to accomplish is for you to ask the questions about the things that are material, not
And saving us from all of the shenanigans. Look who it is. Shout out to HVM. High Value Man has entered the chat. And blesses your girl with $100. He says 6 minutes of blabber diarrhea. Wasn't that remarkable? I didn't think she was going to go on for that long. I really didn't. I thought maybe like 3 minutes. I have never seen someone get asked a question and they go on and 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 on. And then we go back to the original question, the original objection. Brian stands up and says, I just want to know where Phil Collins came from. That's it. Unbelievable. Fulton County taxpayers are paying for that. You ever notice when you go to a bad restaurant, you know something's wrong with the restaurant. Let's put our Gordon Ramsay hats on because there's no customers sitting down. There's no customers outside. And then when you actually experience the service, then you identify what's wrong. They send bad food. You don't want to say anything. And, you see like sometimes it could be the chef that's in the back that's just cooking the food bad, or it could be managers that are instantly annoyed. But then you're like, oh, it makes sense why the restaurant looks good on the outside. The menu looks okay, but there are cogs in the wheel where you can find the problem. One of the reasons why this case so far has been a shit show is because of love. If y'all can do me a huge favor and type HVM in the chat, that would mean a lot to me. And we needed a break from that. I think we all just needed a mental break after hearing the word salad, and it's just going to keep continuing on. But HVM, thank you so much for stopping through. You know you're one of my favorite people on here and always supporting your girl. I hope you're having a great start to your Monday over there in the Pacific Northwest. Thank you so much, HVM.
every line or every other line, and I'm exaggerating a little bit, but not all of the minutia of what is in this statement, like how far away they parked when whomever did the shooting. I mean, does that really matter?
There's a reason that I asked that question. When there's a witness who talked about them parking at the stop sign. He may not have seen the other car, but this witness has testified that it was only him and one person who followed a car and shot at people. Yeah. So the fact that there is a witness who testifies that there was a car that stopped up the street at the stop sign, and we have this witness telling police in August 2015 that they stopped kind of far back, and that the other car stopped in front of the house and shot. We believe that those details matter, and they provide what the court called, I think, evidentiary depth, and that the jury can look at what other witnesses unconnected with this witness say and decide which version of the statements that this witness has given is true and why.
So then you can just say, did you park really far away? And then he can say no. And then you can impeach with the statement.
That's it.
It's all that needs to happen.
Judge, I understand, but respectfully, we can't tell the defense how to ask questions, Your Honor, and I appreciate the court's suggestions regarding how more succinctly to ask the questions, but I don't ask the questions that I ask for no reason. I certainly don't ask them for the purposes of delay.
I know it's not for the purpose of delay. I think it must be because you think every tiny little detail is crucial to your case, and that's why you're asking every tiny little detail.
I don't think every tiny little detail for sure, but I do think that details matter. And
I know that you think that details matter.
And
all right, well, it's been 20 minutes that we've been on this one. topic. Maybe we'll just cut our lunches down to 35 minutes from now on.
Wow.
Hold the jury so far past when we're supposed to be picking back up. So please take it into consideration, but I mean, I don't know if you're going to do that or not. I don't know if I'm like even getting the concept through to you.
Your Honor, of course.
Okay, good. Let's get the
Recorded.
witness back in and then the jury back in.
Awful, guys. Now everybody is suffering. Everybody's going to get a shorter lunch because she can't get her stuff together. Everybody. Jurors, defendants, everybody's attorneys, everybody's now going to suffer a 35-minute lunch instead of a full hour lunch because of love shenanigans. This is crazy. Shout out to JBATL. If y'all could type stop the minutia in the chat, that would be hilarious.
I'd love that.
All right, little D coming back in. Jury's coming back in. Little D is sleeping on the stand. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Wait, mic check 1 2 1 2. What is this?
Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Love.
Thank you, Judge. And welcome back, Mr. Zachary. Mr. Zachary, would you please tell the jury if you know of a place that you refer to as the gambling house or the dugout?
I don't know.
Sir,
I don't know.
I need you to speak into the microphone.
I don't remember.
When you say you don't remember, are you speaking of the gambling house or the dugout or both or something else?
Both.
Do you recall whether you knew of a place called the Gambling House on August 5th, 2015?
I don't remember.
Okay. What about the dugout?
I don't remember.
At one point, did you believe that, first of all, Kelvin Watts, what What name do you call him?
I don't know no Kevin Watts.
You don't know him at all?
I don't know.
Do you know a person that you refer to as Kel?
I don't know.
Do you remember speaking about a person that you called Kel with investigators Gaither and Dennis on August 5th, 2015?
I don't remember. I don't know.
Do you remember telling detectives Gaither and Dennis about the gambling house being shot up?
I don't know.
Do you remember telling or talking to the detectives in August 2015 about the dugout getting shot up?
I don't remember.
Do you remember telling detectives Gaither and Dennis that you were at the gambling house or dugout at the time that people started shooting at it?
I don't remember.
Do you recall telling detectives Gaither and Dennis that Thug was at the gambling house or dugout at the time that people started shooting at it?
I don't remember.
Do you recall Detective Gaither and Dennis asking you when that had occurred?
I don't remember.
Do you recall telling them that it occurred either in November or December of 2014?
I don't remember.
Do you recall then remembering that it occurred around December 2014?
I don't remember.
Do you recall, do you know whether Jeffery Williams' car or vehicle was at the dugout on the date that the shootout occurred?
I don't remember.
Do you recall telling the police that during the shootout, sorry, Judge, that during the shootout, Thug's window was shot out?
I don't remember.
Do you recall telling the police that Thug said, nah, I ain't cool with them niggas, so they pay for my window?
I don't remember.
Now, do you know whether or not Woody and Kel had anything personal going on?
I don't remember.
Do you recall telling the police that Woody and Kel did?
I don't remember.
Do you recall telling them your surmising that they were trying to show who had more girls, more money, or which one of them had more money?
Objection 403.
Sustained.
King ATL, that is correct.
How often did you go to Crucial?
I don't know.
Were you ever at Crucial when Kel was at Crucial?
I don't know.
Did you ever go to Crucial with Thug?
I don't know.
Do you recall whether Thug gave you or any of your friends money to throw around at Crucial?
I don't know.
Do you recall telling Gaither and Dennis in August 2015 that Thug would come into Crucial, give them money and stuff to throw, and Kel didn't want him to do that?
Objection 403.
Sustained.
Your Honor, this goes directly to other matters that we have shown and intend to prove or show at trial. We would ask that the court allow the state to present this
I object
evidence
to the speaking.
to the jury.
Sustained.
Okay. What does it mean if someone isn't clicked with someone else?
What is a click?
Yeah, tell me what it is.
I don't know.
Did you talk about Thug being clicked with anyone?
What is a click?
I would ask you to tell me.
I don't know.
Okay. Do you recall talking with the police about how many times shots have been fired at the gambling house?
I don't remember.
Was the gambling house shot at like 200 times in your estimation?
I don't know.
Do you recall telling the police that the gambling house was shot at like 200 times?
Objection 403.
Sustained.
What is MDC?
I don't know.
Do you know the name Most Dangerous Click?
No.
At any time, did you ever tell the police that you believe that MDC had shot at the gambling
Objection
house?
403.
Your Honor, when the court ruled, do you recall people posting videos and pictures on Instagram after the shooting?
I don't know.
Did you have a gun at the gambling house when it got shot at?
I don't know.
At the time that the shooting occurred at the gambling house, did everyone with a gun run out and start shooting?
I don't remember.
Do you recall telling the police?
Hey guys, brief interruption. Just wanted to show you something. You guys know, been rocking with the Black law student lately, and he actually picked up on an interesting observation. It says, warning, ADA's loves dissatisfaction with how Judge Whitaker is handling the case, suggesting that the judge is restricting how the state presents its case. Love is setting the judge up for an appellate issue. Shake my head. Just want y'all to, keep note of that as well as we watch this debauchery go on. We did hear a little bit of that, because the thing is, she's like, why are you restricting my questions? Everyone else is like, please slim them down, make them more concise. But her big thing is, and you can see a lot of the frustration, I hear it in her voice right now, not being able to present all of the details in its entirety for the jury to hear. Interesting, but wanted y'all to have some insight into that one. But let's keep going.
That you did not run out because you didn't have a gun.
I don't know.
Do you know whether or not Jeffery Williams confronted anyone about his window getting shot out?
I don't remember.
Do you recall whether or not Jeffery Williams confronted Kel about his window getting shot out?
I don't remember.
Have you ever been shot before?
I don't remember.
Really, Mr. Zachary? You don't know whether you've been shot before?
Objection asked and answered.
Sustained.
Do you remember having seen? We're going to put up on the screen State's Exhibit 424 Yankee. If you look at that and tell me whether or not that's the dugout or a place you remember being at and gambling.
You can bring closer. I can't see that far. I don't remember.
Do you see yourself in there?
Yes.
Do you see the date that picture was posted?
No.
Could you zoom in at the bottom? No, she hasn't. Thank you. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Do you remember being at that location with the people depicted in that photograph prior to November? Bring that date in again. 7, 2014.
I don't remember.
Who else in that picture with you?
I just know Mr. Sledge.
You only know Mr. Sledge?
Yeah.
What are y'all sitting on?
Like a pool table.
How many how many places have you been at with Mr. Sledge with the pool table?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained.
Your Honor, I'm trying to establish where this is. You have no frame of reference to tell where this is?
No.
Do you know more than one location that you've been at with the pool table?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained.
Was your sister dating Moulton?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police that your sister was dating Moulton?
Objection, 403.
Your Honor, this is not 403. I mean, ask to approach if I may.
You may.
Okay, so they are approaching the bench. We've got a little bit of TiVo time. Hopefully it's a short one. No, they're still up at the bench. Okay, so we've got a little bit of TiVo time, but yes, we're hearing a lot of I don't remembers. We're hearing a lot of I don't recalls. There's certain things that she's trying to pull out of him. She knows she's not going to get it, but she has to show the contradiction as well. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, a lot of us are waiting for Cross. There is an active poll right now on when you think, actually, I should rephrase that to say how long, instead of how long Little D is going to be on the stand, I think I want to start asking you guys, how long is this direct going to take? Seriously. In the meantime, while we wait for them to come back from this bench conference, we'll cover a few supers. Shout out to Stick to Born with the 10 says, I just don't understand how she continuously makes the argument that she, above all other people, knows exactly when these witnesses are telling the truth versus lying. Really good point. Interesting one. Thank you so much, Sticks to Born. Shout out to K-Wags with the 5. Says, ma'am, the defense is not your problem. You are your problem. You look like a fool. Loveless. K-Wags is hardcore. She has not been liking watching this for the past few days. Thank you so much, K-Wags. She's like, yeah, this is horrible. K-Wags hits me with another 2. Says, she believes she's killing it. Lies, delusions. Exactly. Thank you so much, K Wags. Shout out to TLGC with the 10. He says the jury is making $25 a day. They are checked out. Instead of drawing on with these dumb questions, you better do something and keep them awake. Judge said, you drain me. I gotta piss. Oh, that's when she needed to go to the bathroom. Let's do a bathroom break. Jury and Little D coming back. Shout out to FFS with the 5. I ain't told the truth a day in my life. What the F did I just listen to? Now I gotta use the bathroom. Thank you, FFS.
Mr. Zachary, are you gonna remember anything that I asked you today?
No.
Judge, I asked the court's permission to treat Mr. Zachary as a hospital.
It's about time.
Thank you.
Would you please use the microphone, Ms. Love?
It is about time. She's finally going to treat him as a hostile witness. It is about time. That means that she can change the form of her questions. I mean, I really don't think it's going to make a difference. But I did see a few of you guys ask what 403 means. Luckily, you know, I, your host, have been helping you guys learn a little bit about the law. And I'm going to show you this. When you hear those numbers and those objections, and a few of you guys know this already, some of our newcomers might be just getting used to it. They're usually objecting to a rule, and that rule comes from the Federal Rule of Evidence. Rule 403 excludes relevant evidence for the following reasons: prejudice, confusion, waste of time, or other reasons. Waste of time is probably the most popular of the day, but that is what you're hearing when you hear references to 403. So when you hear Doug say objection 403, he's referring to that rule, and the judge needs to make a decision. She will say overruled, which means that he loses, or sustained, meaning that she sides with him, and Love will have to change the form of her questions. Let's go back in.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Zachary, isn't it true that initially you and your friends thought that MDC shot up the dugout, which you also call the gambling house?
Objection to speculation as to what his friends thought.
Your Honor, isn't it true that you thought that MDC shot up the dugout or the gambling house initially?
I don't remember.
Isn't it true that you discussed amongst your friends the belief that MDC shot up the dugout or the gambling house initially in December 2014?
Who was my friends?
Partially Thug, Montunk, Shannon.
I ever told y'all those
Objection
my
as to
friends?
hearsay as to what his friends may have discussed with him.
Isn't it true that you and your friends later learned that Kel had told Gucci Red that If Gang shot up the dugout?
Objection is to speculation as to what his friends learned.
Sure.
This is,
Did you,
this is one of those matters. It's not specifically the one I was referring to, but this is one of those matters that pre-trial we discussed and foundations would have to be laid.
Your Honor, I actually will rephrase that question. And
Excuse me, Your Honor, I don't believe your microphone is on. Thank you.
and Your Honor,
It is not, sorry.
while Mr. Sharp is correct, I believe that this has already been litigated and the court did make a ruling in our favor with respect to this information.
Rule 602 is for
I'll point the court's attention to number 5 on the sheet.
I'll show you guys what speculation means in a moment. But that's what 602.
From the 2015, August 2015 interview. Yep, you can ask about it. Isn't it true that you and the friends that I mentioned to the jury later believed that If Gang shot up the dugout?
Who was my friends? I don't got no friends.
You, Thug, Shannon, at the very least.
I can't speak for nobody else think.
Isn't it true that Kel told Gucci Red, who was Thug's child's mother, that If Gang did the shooting?
Objection, hearsay.
Yes.
Did they leave again? Sorry, guys. I went to go get some water. It looks like they are on another bench conference, huh? Let me see what I just missed.
did the shooting.
Objection, hearsay.
Yes.
Okay, she's getting clobbered with objections right now. So they're approaching the bench and talking to the judge. My bad, guys. I wanted to get some water. That's why I stepped away for a second. It looks like they are doing a little bench conference. Let me see if they are back from that. Nope, we are all out of TiVo time in current. So we will see what the result of that is when they come back. Let me see where we left off with our supers. Shout out to your main man, Mush with the 5 says, love is going to force this judge to explode on her. And when she does, it's going to be epic. The judge has helped her so much and has gotten old as her style. Oh my gosh. Mush is a savage with that one. Thank you so much, Mush. Let's keep it going down the line. Shout out to Ossison with the $2 says Adkins looking like he over love also. Yeah, I mean, they work together, but you never know. Shout out to Mary Sala with the super sticker slinging them cars. Hits me with the $3. Thank you so much, Mary Sala. Hope you're having a great day. FFS is back with the 2. Says, goodness, hey, Miss Investigator. All right, you guys saw the investigator. People are looking, right? We let our men be men over here. Shout out to the TLGC with 5 says, we need a Luna cam just to hear Love's voice. It would help tremendously. Yeah, sometimes when there's like yelling, y'all notice that that's when she comes into this den. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Thank you so much, TLGC. The attorneys are currently at the judge's bench discussing an objection that just came up. It sounds like they're getting a little frustrated, so we're just waiting for them to come back. They should be back in a moment or two. Shout out to Scotty across the pond. Scotty across the pond with the 5 pounds says, I'm behind, so watching it on 2X looks like ADA loves doing the candy dance in those heels. I mean, something's happening. Thank you so much, Scotty. Shout out to Anthony with the 5 says pattern. Whenever witness says, I already told you that, Love is asking, but not processing the responses. What do you think? I think she has a deliberate method for what she's looking for, and that's why we're seeing that, right? Like she's trying to get certain things on the record, and then of course, if it's going to be supplemented with these interviews, then we can go from there. But thank you so much, Anthony. Shout out to the Golden Lounge again, your stream sponsor, gifting 20 AV memberships. Thank you so much, the Golden Lounge. Shout out to Diamond with a 5. Diamond says he better not get caught so much as reading a restaurant menu or he will go down for perjury. Yeah, because that's the thing. He's saying that he didn't know how to read, like he didn't pass the 8th grade, didn't complete his education beyond the 8th grade. So all those things are at play. Thank you, Diamond. Shout out to TLGC with the 5, who says she like arguing with people. That's simple. You can tell, explaining things away. Shout out to Tasha, who became a member. Welcome, Tasha. Welcome to the community. You're going to love it here. Shout out to the Golden Lounge again. We read this one, your stream sponsor, super generous with $100. Thank you so much again, the Golden Lounge. And shout out to all the Libras. It's Libra season. Your girl has a birthday coming in. Really excited about that. Really, really excited. Shout out to all the Libras out there. Thank you so much, the Golden Lounge. Your girl is October 5th. So I saw a few of you guys in October as well. And then we got our September babies celebrating now. Shout out to Kate with the $1.99. Kate says Oxy causes foggy memory, confusion, and anger. Yeah, and that's the other thing. I do feel bad that he is testifying without having his medication that he needs, right? He's on the ankle monitor. They've taken his phone, and he can only use his phone while under supervision. But, the difference, and I had mentioned this earlier, one of you guys pointed it out, is Little Woody had a similar setup. But the difference is that Little Woody wasn't on house arrest. So that's the thing. But thank you so much, Kate. Shout out to Anthony with the 20 says, Love is appending her notes. I'm changing my witness tomorrow. Vote to next week. Whitaker is done. Stick a fork in her. Shout out to Golden. Another note, ADHD and autism witness. Love screwed up by not doing her research, as witness said. Interesting observation. Thank you, Anthony. Anthony's back with another 5. Says JC ADHD. Good point. AV. Ashley opens. Rec request got heated. Can you comment? I haven't seen it yet today. So, that's what I mean. Like we're gonna out, see what happens. I don't know if it's still going on today, but Ashley Merchant was in this same courthouse in a different courtroom, just doors down, arguing an open records request against the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. One Dexter Bond was on the stand. We watched a little bit of it last Thursday, but then y'all wanted to come right back to the YSL trial, so that's what we did. We just poked our head into that courtroom to see what was going on. It was pretty cool, but there was a lot of defiance happening on the stand. Thank you so much, Anthony. Shout out to Deirdre with the 2. No comment, no question. Pure love of the game. Thank you so much, Deirdre. And yeah, guys, there was a bench conference that just happened with an objection. We're just waiting for them to come back any moment. In the meantime, we are catching up on our supers. Thank you so much, Deirdre. Shout out to the Golden Lounge again with the 20 says, so on Friday, he was on many meds for sickle cell. Remember, I said, once the medication is worn off, the feeling is like a truck runs over you. With the excruciating pain that he's feeling, he can't focus or think straight. And that's the thing, like this is gonna take many, many days just for her part. He's been on the stand since Friday. We'll see if she gets fired today, but it's already it's almost 2:30. So the business day is almost out, right? And now the judge is threatening to shorten everybody's lunches and things like that. These days are going to get longer and longer and longer. So craziness. But thank you so much for weighing in, the Golden Lounge. Deirdre hits me with another super sticker. Thank you, Deirdre. This time it's $3. Thank you. Very, very sweet of you, Deirdre. Shout out to Ari Nicole. She says, hello, everyone. Hope you're well. I've missed a lot. Took some time away for recovery from a minor surgery. Glad to see all of you. Hello, beautiful AB. Thank you, Ari, and I hope you are feeling better and wishing you a speedy recovery. Thank you, Ari. Shout out to Sam with the 5. Sam says, she keep asking the same questions over and over in different ways. I would get fed up also and would not remember or just don't know. I mean, the crazy part too is like sometimes he was playing with her, she's just like, who dropped you off? In this car. He's like, you? And she's like, I dropped you off? He's like, yeah, we didn't want people to see that we're messing around or something. Like he's playing up there. He really is. Thank you so much, Sam. Shout out to Miss Butterfly with the 2 says, shut up, Whitaker, you're not doing your job anyway. Well, that's the other thing, and shout out to the Black law student that picked up on this. Still, like a judge's job is to call the balls and strikes, right? But you still have to be fair to both sides. So if Love is like, oh, wait, you weren't being fair to us because you didn't even allow us to present our case in the way that we see fit. But at the same time, the judge also has to be really efficient with time. So it's a balancing thing. But let's say this goes up on appeal. That is an argument that the state could make, right? I didn't even realize that in the moment. So shout out again to the Black law student for pointing that out to us. Shout out Miss Butterfly again. And she says, so Love was demoted. You said she was a judge. Well, here's the thing. People can go back and forth. A lot of people have been judges. I think Nathan Wade was a judge before he became the special prosecutor in the Donald Trump case, right? I think Fonnie Willis herself used to be a judge. So judgeships are a stop on a job, but it doesn't indicate a demotion. If you want to take a different career path as a legal professional, you can do that. But even with this, like she is the chief district attorney right under Fonnie. Like she's one of the highest people in that office. We've got some movement in the courtroom. Looks like they are coming back. All right. Thank you so much, Miss Butterfly. I'll pick up the rest of these in a bit. Yeah. But it looks like they are coming. Might take a second. So shout out to Edgar. Been a member for a month. Thanks for your time, Edgar. Shout out to Rashid with the 5.
Thank you. I want to make, yep, there it's working. Mr. Zachary, at some point, you and Thug and Moontunk and the friends who were at the gambling house with you when it was shot up came to believe that If Gang and not MDC shot up the gambling house. Is that right?
I don't know what nobody
Objection
came
is just speculation as to what others believed.
You all,
Sustained on that.
you all discussed the fact that MDC wasn't the person or group that shot up the gambling house, but rather If Gang was, specifically Kel or Shell Kel.
Objection as to hearsay as to what others may have discussed.
effect on the listener and the belief that Kelvin Watts and If Gang shot it up?
I mean, overruled.
Who is you all?
You, Mr. Williams, Mr. Sledge, and the people who were inside the dugout with you who ran outside with guns shooting back.
I don't know what nobody else thought. I can't tell you what they thought.
I changed that question to you all discussing that
I don't remember
fact. Do you
discussing
remember?
nothing like that.
Okay. Do you remember telling the police that your sister was dating Montun?
I don't remember that.
Do you remember telling the police that Gucci Red had a child with defendant Jeffrey Williams?
I don't remember that.
Do you remember telling the police that Gucci Red told your sister
I don't remember that.
something that Kelvin Watts had told her?
I don't remember that.
Do you remember telling the police that Kelvin Watts during pillow talk admitted shooting up the gambling house?
Objection 403 as well as hearsay.
Overruled.
I don't remember.
Huh?
I don't remember.
And do you remember telling police that Montun told Woody and Thug that it was Kel who shot out Thug's window?
I don't remember.
Did YSL and If Gang, from that point on, not talk to one another?
I don't know.
Do you remember telling the police from the time that the dugout was shot up in December, you said to them, after being asked, y'all just don't talk to each other from that point on, right? You said, yeah. Do you remember saying that?
No.
And Detective Gaither said, meaning YSL and If Gang. Do you remember her saying that?
No.
And then you said they ain't really mess with each other. It was already tension in the air, but they waited until.
Objection 403.
Sustained.
Do you remember telling the police that there was already tension in the air between YSL and If Gang?
Objection asked and answered.
Overruled.
No.
Okay. Now, you,
What is that clicking sound?
I got no control over what I do.
Oh, it's him.
you asked the police about if they knew Yak, who is with Thug, who
Excuse
hangs
me?
with Thug.
Why is the police standing right here like he? I don't know. I feel scared.
Well, there's nothing to be afraid of, so you'll be okay.
Do you recall telling the police about helping Yak after he had gotten into it with MDC, helping him out in a fight at the club?
Objection 403.
This is ruled in.
Overruled.
I don't know.
And MDC is from Bankhead, correct?
I don't know.
All right. And MDC is not the same thing as If Gang, correct?
I don't know.
He playing with the water bottle.
Now, did you tell the police that you didn't go to Crucial, but you do hang out with YSL on the block?
What is block?
Did you tell did you tell the police that you hang out with YSL?
I don't remember.
Did you tell them that you hung out with them at Crucial, but not so much after you got shot in November?
I don't remember.
Did you tell the police about Woody and Mooktunk shooting at Kel?
I don't remember.
Tell the jury about the video between you, Mooktunk, and talking or shouting out to Kel.
I don't remember.
Do you remember telling the police about it?
I don't remember.
Do you know when you made the video?
I don't remember.
Tell the jury who Trevia is.
I don't remember.
It's true that Trevia was at one point dating Mooktunk, correct?
I don't remember.
And Trevia stopped dating Mooktunk and started dating Kel, right?
I don't remember.
And you told the police about a video that you made with Mooktunk calling out Kel, didn't you?
I don't remember.
And all this happened after the shooting at the dugout that you all believe If Gang and specifically Kel was a part of. Is that right?
I don't remember.
Did Shannon and Diamante Kendrick or Yak talk to you about the Donovan Thomas murder, didn't they?
No.
They talked to you in 2015 on January 10th, 2015 into the morning of January 11th, 2015, didn't they?
They told you no.
Now, do you remember parts of 2015 now?
I didn't know that day I was at home sick.
You were at home sick from what?
I was at home sick.
Oh my God.
Did you stay at home the entire day?
From what?
I don't remember.
Sickle cell.
So if you don't remember, why are you saying you know for sure that you did not speak with Shannon and Yak about Donovan Thomas's murder?
Shit, they ain't come to my house.
You all went to Jeffery Williams' house, didn't you?
No, I don't remember. No.
You told the police that you, Shannon, and Yak were at Jeffery Williams' house together following Donovan Thomas's murder, didn't you?
I don't remember.
Tell the jury who Doo-Wop is.
Is he tapping out? Uh-oh. Oh no.
Huh? You said what?
He fell asleep.
Tell the jury who Doo-Wop is.
I don't remember.
You told the police that Doo-Wop was also responsible.
Mr. Zachary, if you want to drink that water, then drink it. If not, stop playing with it.
In mine?
You can drink it.
You told the police that Doo-Wop was also responsible or for the murder of Donovan Thomas, didn't you?
I don't know.
You told the police that both Shannon and Yak talked to you about the Donovan Thomas murder because y'all were at Thug's house talking about it, didn't you?
I don't know.
And the police asked you which house?
Characterization, this is the problem. That's not what the transcript says.
Your Honor, number one, I object to the speaking objection. And
How am I supposed to combat this?
Seriously.
and two, it doesn't matter what a transcript says. I'm asking questions.
Well, Your Honor, there needs to be a good faith basis.
What?
And we cannot just ask any question we want and just make up things and have him say, I don't remember. That's misleading to the
And
jury.
Your Honor, making up things. All right. So Shannon and Yak talked to you about killing Donovan Thomas, partly because y'all were at the house talking about it, right?
No,
And you all were at Thug's house, right?
no,
The police asked you whether it was the new one or the old one, didn't they?
no, I don't know.
And you told the police it was the old one, his condo down there. Isn't that right?
I don't know.
Huge shout out to our cousins across the pond, but huge shout out to Jen Jen, who hits me with 50 pounds. No comment, no question, pure love of the game. I haven't seen your name in here, Jen Jen. Very, very sweet of you. If you're new to the community, welcome. This is incredibly generous, especially in pounds. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. Let's go back in, but when people step out the frame, and provide some larger love here, I definitely want to stop and make sure that they're acknowledged. Thank you so much, Jen Jen.
You told the police that Yak was hanging with a girl named Bushi, correct?
I don't know.
And you told the police that based on what Yak and Shannon told you, they saw Nut at the barbershop,
I don't
right?
I don't remember.
And you said that they saw him at the barbershop. And at the time, D was with them, but he later got into another car. Remember?
No,
The police asked you, which car were they in when they saw him? Do you remember that?
no,
And you told the police the Infiniti G35. Remember?
I don't remember.
Do you remember the police asking you what color it was?
I don't know.
You told the police you forgot what color it was, but that Thug's manager, Amina, had rented it.
I don't remember.
You also told the police that you and Woody were in it. Later on, you said later that night.
I don't remember.
You said that you went to a little kickback.
That's a lie.
Which part is a lie? That you said it to police or that it happened?
I don't remember. I just know they don't sound like none of it's true.
So which part are you calling a lie?
You,
Okay. Well, which part of what I said was a lie?
everything you ever said.
All right. So you told the
Thank
police
you.
that you thought you had wrecked the car, didn't you? Mr. Zachary, you thought you and Woody had wrecked the car.
I don't remember.
And you weren't drunk, but y'all were just flying, trying to see how fast the car could go.
If we wrecked it, how was it used after that?
It's what I just said about you all driving fast to see what the car was doing. Something that you told the police.
I don't remember.
Now, you told the police that the car was definitely rented for Thug, correct?
And I told them that I never saw Thug in that car.
Okay, so here's the other thing, guys. Sometimes when you have multiple witnesses who give a similar story, you want to create a pattern. So shout out to Kat here, who has an interesting question. She says, did Little D and Woody have the exact same story? No, They didn't. There are some things that Woody said that are different from what Little D said. But remember, a lot of Woody's testimony was hearsay because he got the information from one person. Who was it? Little D. That's why she needs to put Little D on the stand. And the sequence of all of these guys taking the stand is important, right? You know, you had Woody, then we had Muktunk, and now we have Little D himself, right? So it's going to be interesting because Max, before he got on the stand, Max was like, I'm going to cross him. He said some things about Shannon that were absolutely not true. They were lies. And some of those lies contradict the account in the story that little Rudy had mentioned when he was on the stand. Let's go back in.
I didn't tell them. I definitely now. I told them. Woody told me.
So now you remember talking about the car.
I don't remember.
Specifically the Infinity rented by Amina, correct?
I don't remember.
That you now say you told them you never saw Thug inside, correct?
I know I said that.
Huh?
I know I said that.
Okay. And you also said that the car was rented for Thug, correct?
I say I never. Said that I had to be lying. I remember that.
You told the police that Thug let Shannon, Nard, and Yak drive that car, didn't you?
If we wrecked the car, how can they drive it?
Did you tell the jury last week that while you were riding in the car, you spun out and the bumper came off?
I don't know.
Now, you told the police as well that Shannon and Yak pulled up on Bushi.
I don't know.
You also told the police that you and Muntu, you didn't know about what was going on with respect to the murder of Donovan Thomas. Is that right?
So how can I tell something else? I say you know what was going on.
So is that right? You told the police
I don't
that y'all
remember.
didn't know?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police that Woody was scared at the time?
I don't remember.
Did you tell the police that Woody had nothing to do with the murder?
I don't remember that.
Did you talk to the police about a gang meeting?
I don't know what a gang is.
You don't know what a gang is? Did you ever hear, do you remember talking to the police about If Gang and their beef with YSL?
I don't know.
So when you hear If Gang, did you ever ask the police what a gang is?
I don't remember.
You told the police that the exact words Shannon told you as far as what happened was, we caught that in nut down bad.
Shannon never told me nothing.
But you told the police he did, didn't you?
I don't know.
You said, specifically, he said, we caught that nigga nut down bad.
Shannon never told me nothing. And Shannon don't even talk like that.
And when you talked to the police, you told them, you asked him who? And Shannon told you him, Yak, and Dua. You remember that?
No.
And you told the police that according to Shannon, they had an AK, correct?
I don't remember.
And according to you, when you talked to police, They also had a 45.
I don't know.
You told the police that the 45 was Shannon's gun, according to what Shannon told you, correct?
Shannon never told me nothing.
You talked to the police as well about OG Bentley, didn't you?
I don't like talking about the dead.
OG Bentley is deceased?
Yes. Tragic.
When was he deceased? When did he die?
I think when I was in jail.
When, not where, when did he die?
I think when I was in jail, I was hearing it. Like he died. It's
Okay, so
tragic. I don't
do
like
you know
talking
for a
about that.
fact that that happened?
I don't like talking about that.
All right. Do you know for a fact that that happened?
I don't like talking about the dead.
Did Shan,
Yes.
Okay, it looks like there's an objection that they need to handle. All right, they're all going up for another bench conference. And we have exhausted all of our TiVo time. Let us come back to where we are in our line as we wait for them to work out this objection. And guys, it's hard to follow, but there are two little D's. The other little D is the one that gave information to little Woody. This little D, so there's two little D's. This is the other little D, right? But the thing is that the information that came from both interviews is what Love is trying to use. She's trying to show the similarities as well as the differences, right? So some of it is true and some of it lines up with Woody's story and some of it does not line up with little Woody's story. And he is saying that back then, everything he said in those interviews, like little Woody, was not true. So they have to parse through that. Shout out to Rashid with the 5. Rashid said, I don't know nothing about no sucker. Witnesses is not her strong point. Hey, AV, love and support here, like always. Thank you so much, Rashid. Really appreciate you. We did catch Edgar's super chat when he dropped it. Thank you so much, Edgar. Doing the Lord's work, helping people get clean and work on their sobriety. Edgar himself has done a lot of time in jail and turned his life around and started businesses and is doing great right now. So we love us some Edgar over here. Shout out to Avi Body Treats, Thomas. I always struggle with your name. Correct me if I could see it in the chat one day. But she became a member. Welcome to the community, sis. You're gonna love it. Rashid is back with another 5 who says, who Love thinks she is? I would have said, you mother effer, you funny as hell at this point. This is a scam. I mean, I do feel bad for little D in a way because obviously he has committed some of these crimes, but at the same time, if you're not feeling well and you gotta sit on a witness stand all day and you could see him kind of fading and it's only 2:51. So it's about to be 3 o'clock. We have seen with most of the witnesses that we've had on the stand, a lot of them start to feel fatigue around this time of the day, 3, 4 p.m. and then leading into 5, especially the ones that have to testify all day. We started to see little Woody snap around 3 o'clock. Same thing with Moon Tung. Moon Tung would start to snap earlier, probably around like 1 p.m. So we're starting to see little D just shut down completely. Like, I don't know. You know, so we're getting all of that. But thank you so much, Rashid. Bench conference, and we're waiting for them to come back. As soon as the courtroom starts to move, we will blow us back up. Shout out to the Golden Lounge with the 2 says, well, either him or his daddy smash liability Love. Something's going on there. Thank you so much, Golden Lounge. Rashid hit me with another 2 says, I don't know, AV. Lil D might be up there with Woody. He might be. He might be. He's been saying some crazy things in his testimony. Shout out to Mush hits me with the 5 says, Woody's got to come back to testify. He's got to get his crown back. This dude is threatening the throne, and I'm sure Love drinks after work. I mean, how could you not? You know, thank you so much, Mush. Shout out to YouTube Watcher with the 2 says, clear sign under the influence or ADHD on the stand. Yeah, he needs his medication. I think he did say he's having withdrawals, and he's experiencing that right now. Shout out to Nene, our favorite Aussie. No comment, no question for your love of the game. She hits me with the 2 Australian bucks. Thank you so much, Nene. Hope you're doing well down under. Shout out to Cindy C. Hits me again with another 5. Says this trial is making the judge and Miss Love look like 2 idiots. Judge has no control in this courtroom, no RICO yet, and wasting the jury's time. Yeah, we're still looking for RICO. We have been In this chat, we have been on the hunt for Rico. We're like, where is he? Where is Rico? We've been looking. How? I think most importantly, how does this directly tie to Young Thug himself? All right, we've been waiting for the answer on that one. Thank you so much, Cindy. Shout out to Mars with the 2 says, on Saturday, YSL witness Intravia Smith got beat up. Are you serious, Mars? What's your source for that? Man, that's terrible. Crazy, crazy. And sorry for that door opening. Luna just broke in. Y'all know how she is. Thank you so much, Mars. Shout out to Dollar with the 2 says, are you streaming the Young Dolph trial? Not yet. You know, I have to figure out how to be in many places at once. But if I don't stream it, what I'm going to have to do is make short videos on it, and then we will go from there. Okay, looks like they're coming back. They have finished that bench conference.
Get the witness back, please.
He's coming back in. Shout out to Shanta with the 5 says, is there anyone on Twitter that is in the courtroom daily who reports on juror reactions? I'd love to know. I think Dennis Byron does. But he's not supposed to. He seems to be pretty ethical. They're not supposed to talk about juror reactions at all. So I don't think anybody's doing it, Shanta. And the judge has reprimanded people for doing it. But thank you so much. Little D with his water bottle. I'll come back to you, healthier me with D.
Judge, I'd ask that, I could just be reminded, whether I asked and got an answer to the question.
You didn't get an answer.
Thank you, Counselor. The gun that Shannon had was a 45, according to Shannon. Isn't that right?
No.
I'm going to show you what has been already admitted as State's Exhibit 24 Charlie Charlie, and ask you if you recognize this person.
My computer.
Oh.
Looks like they're about to show him a piece of evidence.
Permission to publish and post.
You met.
She did.
Already, she met her.
I don't know what it is. Like she's figured out how to like use her snout to like push the door in. And there's no lock on it. So I'm kind of trying to train her out of that. Yeah, Denise, she wants to sit by my feet. That's what she's doing right now.
Just 1 second, Mrs. Zachary, we're putting up 24 Charlie Charlie.
Due to my condition, I don't know how many more days I'm not gonna be healthy.
Oh,
Can we do something, get you any meds or anything like that?
I don't want nothing from y'all. Y'all might kill me.
Do you recognize the person that the pointer is on?
No.
Isn't that OG Bentley?
I told you, Miss Love, I like speaking on the dead. I don't know if that's him though.
You don't know if that's him. All right, I'm gonna show you 10 Charlie Charlie.
That is Tim.
I'm sorry, that is 10. I'm gonna show you 24 Charlie Charlie.
and then she shows him another picture.
What about the person who is depicted in 24 Charlie Charlie? Is that the person you know is OG Bentley?
I don't remember.
Do you know if that person is Kelvin Treadwell? Do you know that person to be named Kelvin Treadwell?
I don't remember.
you know whether or not, do you recall speaking about, a spot Bentley had on Cleveland Avenue?
I don't know.
Do you know if Bentley had a spot on Cleveland Avenue?
I don't like speaking on the dead, Miss Love.
We'll get through it as respectfully and quickly as possible. Do you know if OG Bentley had a spot on Cleveland Avenue on Oak? Drive.
I don't remember.
You told the police that he did, didn't you?
I don't remember.
You told the police that as between Shannon and Yak, Shannon was the one that told you first about killing Nut, didn't you?
I don't remember.
And you told the police that both Shannon and Yak told you the same story, didn't they?
I don't remember.
You told the police that Shannon told you the same night that Donovan Thomas got killed. What happened?
It could have been because I wasn't there. I was told I was at home, so I don't remember.
Didn't you tell the police that you went to Thug's house? You had just pulled up at Thug's house and walked in with Monktoon?
No, I just told you. I remember just telling you I was sick. I wasn't there.
Do you remember telling the police how Shannon was telling you that they were gonna meet Bushi?
I don't remember no Shannon that night.
Do you know, or can you tell the jury who Bushi is?
I don't know.
Was Bushi dating Yak at the time?
I don't know.
You told the police that Shannon described how it was that they came upon Donovan Thomas and how they rolled back around and started shooting.
That's a lie. I lied if I did say it.
I'm going to show you what has been admitted as State's Exhibit 23, Charlie, and ask you if you recognize this person.
I don't know.
Make it do. Isn't that the person you call Nard?
I don't know him.
You don't know him at all?
No.
Do you remember telling the police that we shoot at them and they make a police report? They say we shoot at them and they make a police report, but they shoot at us and we say nothing?
I don't remember.
You were talking about if gang being they and YSL being we, weren't you?
I don't know who they and who were.
I'm sorry?
I don't know who they and we are. I know who I am.
You told the police that you all went to Florida after Donovan Thomas's murder, didn't you?
I told you. I don't remember.
You told the police that you, Shannon, Dee, Woody, and Yak went to Florida. Isn't that correct?
I don't remember.
You told them that you all went on a Sprinter van, didn't you?
I don't know.
Objection 403.
Overruled.
said you don't remember?
I don't remember.
And this was further into the day after Donovan Thomas was murdered, correct?
I don't remember.
No, Momo, this is direct.
You all came back a little bit early, didn't you?
I don't remember.
Woody expressed being concerned about people shooting at his house while he was down there, right?
I don't remember.
Look at how thick that damn book is. We're gonna be here for days.
Now, Yak told you at a different time than Shannon told you about the murder. Isn't that correct?
You had never told me nothing.
And Duop was Yak's friend. Isn't that correct?
I don't know no doo-wop.
You told the police when asked how Duop fits into all this, you said he's Yak's homeboy, correct?
I don't know.
And the police asked you, so him and Yak are close, correct?
I don't know.
And you said, yeah. Is that right?
I don't know.
Now, you told the police that you didn't know Duop personally, right?
I don't remember.
You told him that you just say, what's up, and that's pretty much it. Is that right?
I don't know.
You told the police that the spot that Bentley had on Oak Drive was one where he sold drugs, right?
Didn't I never sold no drugs? I ain't like that. I ain't that type of person.
Did you tell the police that drugs were sold at Bentley's spot on Oak Drive?
I never saw Bentley sell no drugs.
That's not what I asked. Did you tell the police that drugs were sold at Bentley's spot on Oak Drive?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No.
Sir?
No.
Okay. Now, Bentley did used to drive a white Nitro, didn't he?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police that he did drive one, but he wrecked it or something by August 2015?
I don't remember.
And did you tell the police that Bentley had a child with Nut's sister?
I don't know.
Turn the page.
Did you tell the police that in the hours after Donovan Thomas's murder, that Thug was acting sort of nonchalant? He was acting sort of, he wasn't excited or anything.
I know I ain't say that.
You also talked to police and told them that even though you had nothing to do with it, you went down to Florida just to go down there.
I don't know.
Did you tell the police that Thug had a show down there?
I don't remember.
Oh, this goddamn book.
Did you tell the police that after the shooting, you said you didn't describe him as nonchalant. Did you call him normal?
I don't remember.
Did you tell the police that Motu didn't go down to Florida with you?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police that the mood while y'all were in Florida was that they were afraid.
I don't know what somebody else moved there.
Did you tell the police that?
I don't know.
I don't even know if we're 50% through the book yet. That is like a textbook. Like the joints from school.
Did you talk to the police about a rumor regarding Woody and Lucci's studio?
I don't know.
Do you know about a place called TIG?
I don't know.
Do you know about a studio called TIG?
I don't know.
Is the Vault Studio a place that you're familiar with?
I don't know about no studios.
Do you remember talking to the police about when YSL first shot at Kel?
I don't know.
Do you remember telling the police that was the one that really escalated?
I don't remember.
You
Do
know,
you
it's
remember telling the police that was just guns up for both sides?
I don't remember.
Do you remember telling the police that Tay shot Kel?
I don't remember.
Brian called this. He saw that book coming. He was like, oh, hell no. All right, she's flipping a little quicker.
Do you remember talking to the police about Woody getting jumped on?
I don't know.
And do you remember talking to the police about people jumping on Bloody J after that?
I don't remember.
Do you remember telling the police that they pulled off and that Kel had already gone?
I don't remember.
Do you remember telling the police that you all ran up the street? Sir?
I don't know.
Do you remember telling the police that you all went in two separate cars?
I don't remember.
Do you remember telling the police that Thug was with you and Shannon that night that Woody got jumped on at the club?
I don't know.
Do you remember telling the police that Thug was on stage performing and that Woody was making his way up to the stage flashing money?
I don't know.
Do you remember telling the police that as Woody was making his way up the stage flashing money, that he got jumped, he got pulled down?
I just told you I don't remember.
You said love and peace.
Let's take a
Do-
quick break. Sorry, thought that was a good time for a break.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and take one.
And that's the other thing too. She should have prepared this. What I used to do in law school all the time, guys, is this. You see this little book with these flags? You can flag things. You can flag things when you're ready. Flag them when it's time. Like, you know, when you want something on there, she should have done that with this book. Put the flags in there so you know what questions to ask instead of doing every single page and putting us all through this excruciating direct examination. More scrambling and scraping and more of her being unprepared. That is an excellent example. I just thought about that. Like, why wasn't it flagged already? You got all these people that work in the DA's office. Why wasn't that flagged? Do you know how much time would have been saved? an enormous amount of time would have been saved. Wow. They should have flagged it. I mean, I can't even show you guys all those books back there. You can't really see it, but I've got all my stuff flagged. Whenever I need something, that's why it's flagged. So if you want to find something, you go to the page that you need and then you ask the question, right? But I think, and honestly, this morning, she wanted to read the whole damn book to us. And the judge was like, no, I agree. You can't go through 200-300 pages of a transcript. So she's kind of doing it on the fly, but during these breaks, that's what she needs to be doing. And I swear, if this goes to 5 p.m. and we're still like 75% of the book tomorrow morning, that it should be flagged. Like if I was a judge, that's what I would say. Like you need to prepare for this adequately. And that is not being done. So they just took a quick bathroom break. While we do that, we will, of course, go through some supers. Shout out to Healthier Me with Z, who I believe is Cape Verdean. Shout out to you, Healthier Me with Z. She says, can a jury submit a question to the judge asking why it's taking so long with the witnesses? Is that allowed? Are they allowed to do that? You know, I don't know if there are any like courtroom rules against that. Usually if they have questions, they'll ask, you know, there's a jury for person, and that person is kind of like the leader of the jury. So with anything that comes up, that person will deliver information to and from the jury to the judge. You know, frequently if they have things going on in their personal lives or somebody needs to take a day off or things of the like, you'll see stuff like that. I think on Friday, somebody got sick. So, you know, they ended court early because they were done with this stuff, you know, so it's interesting stuff. Real quick, shout out to, actually, nope, not gonna say it. I thought that was something else. I was gonna look at my phone for a minute. But thank you so much, Healthier Me with Z, for a great question. And I hope you're having a great day. Shout out to Unique Maine with the 5, says Percocets, Molly Percocets, Percocets, Molly Percocets, Repuset. Mask on. Nah, mask off, little D. Flip the bird at Unlove. Yeah, no, it's been crazy. I mean, he needs his Percocets. He really does. Like, poor guy is crashing on the stand. Thank you so much, Unique Maine. Shout out to Jedi with the 2, says, are you going to cover the Young Dolph trial? Well, according to you guys, they're already on witness number 3. That trial's moving. So I would probably have to catch up on it tonight. A few meetings after this. And then we just finished a video. So I have a video fresh out of the editing booth. I haven't even seen it yet, but editor number 2 just texted me a little while ago, let me know that our weekly recap from last week is done. So we have like a short little recap from last week. If you missed a few days, I'm going to put that out around like 6 o'clock tonight. So that one is done. And then we're finishing up the Rich Homie Quan video. Hopefully that's done tomorrow. Young Dolph might have to be the day after, just so we can have some time to catch up on everything. But I've got to watch the trial and see what's going on and explain it to y'all. So can't do 2 things at once. But what I will do with that one is chop it up into pieces for y'all, so y'all know what happened, you know what's going on, that sort of thing. But great question, Jedi. Shout out to Detroit Tone 12, new member. Thank you so much, Detroit, for joining. Welcome to our Chatterhood, to the community. Gonna love it here. Shout out to Black Orchid with $5. Says, if the judge calls a mistrial, she won't have to endure Love's BS. None of us will. But would y'all have YSL withdrawals? Like if the trial went away, I think we would all miss each other, no? But we would just have to find another one, you know? But interesting. Thank you so much, Black Orchard. Shout out to High Value Man. We caught this one when he stopped by from the Pacific Northwest and was like 6 minutes of blabber diarrhea. I still can't believe that I timed her. And at that point, she had already been talking for like 3 or 4 minutes. So in actuality, it was like 10 minutes of her just talking. Crazy. Thank you so much, HVM, one of your stream sponsors. Shout out to Anthony with the 2, says, loves Endgame mistrial for the second bite at the apple. Could be. That's a great theory. Thank you, Anthony. Shout out to, this is going to be tough. Yeah, we're just going to call you 44 with the 2. It says, AV, your sprinkle impersonation is killing your Woody one. Yeah, you know, I haven't heard Little Woody in a while, so it's hard for me to to get back into character with that one. But when the transcript dropped, just to keep you guys entertained, like I just threw a little Woody voice on, like, I did these crimes. I'm telling you right now, I lied back then. I'm lying right now. I did these crimes. I don't know what you want me to do. We miss little Woody over here. We totally do. And right now they're on a bathroom break. We're waiting for them to come back. But the sprinkle impersonation is, I mean, because I've met guys like that. And I mean, like in a professional setting, well, I've been on my yacht all weekend and, I've been, playing golf and doing these things. And then it's like, mix that with the Boston accent. Ooh, these guys in corporate America in Boston, like, hey, AV, how you doing? How was your weekend? What'd you do over the weekend? I'm like, oh, it was great. It was good. Did this, did that, those sorts of things. Hey, what's up with your hair? One day you come into the office and it's straight, looks nice, but then, then you come into the office and it looks like this. How'd you do that? What did you do to make that happen? It's like magic. Y'all can't get me in a room doing impersonations. Like, you really can't. Thank you so much, 44, for the super chat. Really appreciate you. Shout out to Penny G with the 5. Penny says, AV, she's reading from the transcript and it's not there. What good faith basis? Oh, yeah, this is when her and Brian were going back and forth. Exactly. That's the thing. The question was, where was this person mentioned in the transcript? That was Brian's question. That's it. She came back with all this case law and was speaking for like 7-8 minutes. It was crazy. Crazy work. Thank you so much, Penny G. Great observation. Shout out to Rashid with the 2, says she lost the judge entirely. Yeah, the judge was done. The judge was like, okay, I let you ramble. Going back to the original question, where was this person's name mentioned? It's not in there. Thank you so much, Rashid. Shout out to Mike with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Mike has no comment, no question, pure love of the game. Thank you so much, Michael. Shout out to MT with the 2, says love is so petty she will never take the L. Ever. Ever, 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 ever will she take that L. Thank you so much, MT. Shout out to Tess with the 5. No comment, no question. Pure love of the game. Thank you so much, Tessie. Hope you're having a great day. Shout out to Mimi with the 2, says, I would hate to be a friend of hers on a phone call. Girl, you ain't never getting off that phone call. Do y'all have friends like that? There's always one. You get on the phone with them and you be like, hey, do you have 5 minutes? And the 5 minutes turns to 3 hours. Sometimes I'm that person. Like, when you get me to talking about YouTube, like business, like I could talk for hours about YouTube. But there are some people where you're like, okay, I'm busy. I got something to do. And then they just keep going. Love is probably like that. Mimi, you ain't never getting off that phone. Thank you so much, Mimi. Shout out to Nancy with the 2 pounds. She says, perfect song today. Can't Hurry Love by Phil Collins. We were looking for Phil. Where was Phil mentioned in the transcript? That's all Brian asked. I could not believe she came back with a 10-minute rambling session. Like, what was that? What did we all watch? Shout out to Orlando Antonio with a 10. He says, hey, AV, can a class action suit be filed by the people in Fulton County? I mean, it should be. There are people protesting outside of the courthouse every day. They're protesting. They're like, stop wasting our tax dollars. I was looking at pictures of it over the weekend. I was like, wow, people are not having it. But a class action lawsuit needs to have a big body of people that have been implicated by a particular thing. Class actions are usually on the civil litigation side, not the criminal side. What we're watching is a criminal trial. So it's likely, but at the same time, it's suing the government. So it is interesting how that would have to be entered into court. But great question, Orlando. Shout out to Kelly Kale with the 2. It says, when will Love realize she is the problem? It's her. But again, shout out to Black law student who did catch that Love is probably setting that up for her. She set up Judge Whitaker on appeal. So if there is a mistake, you bet your ass that she's going to be on the other side of that appeal, arguing that the judge did not give her a proper opportunity to ask every question that she wanted to under the sun. But because this case is so big, there is an argument for a speedy trial for the defense's side. So that would be like it likely will go up on appeal if they get convicted. I hope not. But if they do, there are some strong arguments from at least from what we saw today. So thank you so much, Kelly Cal. Hope you're having a great a great day in your 2L years. Shout out to Mike again with the 5, says Miss Love is clear in over her head. She didn't participate being held accountable. She's completely unprepared. Always. Where's the flags? Where's the flags? She could just flag it. I would have done that over the weekend. It's just good trial prep because you know what you're going over, and it also helps you be more organized. Like, all right, like even if this goes off the rails, I know what I need to ask him. I'm going to go in and out, and I know what I'm looking for. What did y'all do all weekend? Did you print that out? Bad trial prep. But thank you so much, Michael. Really appreciate you. Shout out to Real Talk with Jules with the 2. No comment, no question. Pure love of the game. I love that icon. Looks amazing. Thank you, Jules. Shout out to Miss Droti Jede with the 5. She says, Dear Rico, if you get this, please help. Dear Rico, blink once if you're out there. Blink twice if you need help. We're looking for you, Rico. We've been looking for you for weeks. Thank you so much, Miss Droti Jede. Shout out to Denise, who became a new member. Welcome to the community. Denise, as you can see, like we love to have fun here. You're going to really enjoy yourself in this community. Shout out to Rashid with the 2, says, when she don't use her mic, she's frustrated. Yeah, I mean, here's the other thing. Stand at the podium like everyone else. Everyone else does it. Every other attorney does it. People from the prosecution's office does it. I mean, with the exception of Atkins and Brown, they were on the side last week. But it's a lot helpful if they just sit at the podium, because guess what the podium can do? If you open books and things on it, you can turn the page a little bit easily. Instead of holding the book, holding the mic, putting the mic down so you can use your other hand to turn the page. Picking up the mic, asking your next question. After you ask it, you put it down so you can use your hand to turn the page. If she was at the freaking podium, look at how much time I just saved her. Rashid, I can't, Rashid. Shout out to Nard with the 5. Nard says, tell the human translator we miss him and hope all is well. We love you too, AB. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Nard. Yeah, guys, I check on Lead all the time. All the time. In fact, I saw him in Law and Crimes chat last week. He's good. He is good. I know we love our Lead, and he's a top dog in this space. We all miss him because he's funny and crazy. Sometimes when I'm looking at this footage, I'm like, did he really say that? But y'all know, it's Lead is Lead, right? But thank you so much, Nard. I appreciate you. Shout out to Michelle with the 10, says, well. Not to my surprise, Miss Love still taking the long way to make a point, an improper point. Yes, everything that she's doing is just from, look at what I just identified. From not having flags ready to not standing at the podium. It's just like the way she goes about stuff. There are opportunities to find time to save. And the judge keeps saying that, like, we need to save time here. It's not happening. Thank you so much, Michelle. Shout out to Jeremy with the 2. He says Libra season 10-5. Is that your birthday too, Jeremy? We share a birthday. Look at that. Thank you. They really appreciate that. Shout out to Michelle, who's back with another 5, says, my birthday is October 20th. My mom always has Halloween-themed birthday parties. Very cool. She says, happy birthday to you, 87. Right back at you. Yeah, I'm trying to get away because you guys know I am a workhorse. I work really, really hard. So I might want to take a few days off and like go somewhere and actually have a vacation. So that may be on the horizon. That's why we are feverishly trying to get as many videos out to you guys as possible. So even that weekend while I'm gone, I'll still be with you, right? You see how that works? We always taking care of you guys. Thank you so much, Michelle, and happy birthday to you as well. I hope you have a good one when it comes. Shout out to the Golden Lounge with the 5, says, you're my birthday twin, 10-5, big Libra, not the little one. Look at that. Look at that. We've got a few 10-5s in here. That is very cool. Movement in the courtroom. Looks like they are back. Shout out to the Golden Lounge, your stream sponsor. And just a reminder, guys, I do have to get out of here at 4. So we've got about 33 minutes of court time left. And we'll be starting at 8:30 in the morning to catch up with what I missed. Shout out to Anthony with the 5, says TBLS is sharp. His insight into Love's likely game seems on point. Was Love a judge? You got to bring him in for a chat. Feliz aniversario. Yeah, I had an opportunity to talk to the Black law student over the weekend. We'll absolutely be doing some work together. Great guy. Very, very smart. Shout out to Scooby. He says, my birthday was yesterday, last day of Virgo, on the cusp. Welcome Libra season. Happy birthday, Scooby. Shout out to Rashid with the 5, says, my little boy has sickle cell. And the crisis is no joke. He's on penicillin for life, basically. When he takes with one, I'd be wanting to cry. I'm so sorry, Rashid. That's hard. No, you got family here. Shout out to Nard with the 10, says, AV, what happened to them discussing the after lunch issue of her reading the transcript without him seeing the item or video? I might have missed that part, Nard. I know we definitely talked about it. Maybe I skipped it. Of course, we got Jen. Thank you again. Vita with the 2 says, at this point, Love is just narrating a story. Girl, she's just reading. Shout out to the Little Gaming Channel with the 5, says, if I was him, I would tell him I'm having a crisis. Call 911. Yeah, get off the stand. He's sick. He's telling her he doesn't know how much healthier he's going to be for a while. Michelle back with the 5 says, because of hearsay, this is what the trial is based on. Everyone has their own story. Mistrial. Andrew with the 2 says, correct answer to the poll is Jesus returns first. Andrew with the zinger. Mush with 5 says, little D, I don't remember. I don't know. I don't recall nothing. Love, Your Honor, I'd like to ask the court's permission to punch this witness in the mouth. Thank you, Mush. Anthony, 5 says, 1 survey. When will Whitaker say enough? 2, Love corroborating testimony and dispelling testimony is a time hound. 3, FYI, I liked and I hit the like. I'm just saying. Thank you. Mush back with the 2 says, Love with the mic in one hand and War and Peace with the other. That's exactly what I was saying, Mush. What's up with the sound?
Exactly. I'm going to show you what I have marked.
Welcome, Adrian.
93 Yankee. That has already been shown to the defense. Are you able to see 493 Yankee? If you need to pull it as close to your face as you can to see it, let me know.
Thank you, Anthony.
Do you recognize the people in that photograph,
Kind of blurry.
sir?
It blurry.
Kind of blurry.
It's kind of blurry. Do you need me to bring it to you bigger? Do you see your,
I recognize people.
and is that a fair and accurate picture of what you looked like at the time that that photograph was taken?
Yeah, man.
All right. Do you remember about when this photograph was taken?
No.
Do you remember?
Let me see it.
Go ahead. No?
Can I see the date?
Yes, sir. Can
No.
you need me to?
I always want me to say the date.
No. Does looking at the date remind you of about when it was taken?
No.
All right. Do you remember where you were when it was taken?
No.
Okay. Do you see who you're in the photograph with?
Yes.
Who are you in the photograph with?
Me and Shannon.
Is that a fair and accurate copy of the photograph of you and Shannon taken at that time?
Yes.
All right.
He looks like he's hurting.
Your Honor, the state tenders State's Exhibit 493 Yankee. And just so that anyone from the defense sees, there you go. I'll let Mr. Shar see it. State tenders 493 Yankee.
It's admitted.
Thanks again, Rashid.
Mr. Zachary, what we're gonna do is look up at the screen. We're gonna blow up 493 Yankee, okay? And then I just want you to tell the jury as we blow it up, starting with the people inside, if we could blow it up a little bit more, the faces, tell the jury who the pointer is on now.
I mean,
That's you in the white shirt.
Yeah.
And the person to your left with the black hoodie on, who is that?
Shannon.
Okay? And if you will push it up, that date, January 16th, 2015, when you looked at it, was that around the date that this photograph was taken, or
I don't know.
was it taken obviously before this date?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, obviously.
Lil D at RO5 Lil D. Who is that?
I don't know.
Okay. And that caption at the bottom, would you read that?
Can't read.
Let me ask you something. Okay. Did you say earlier that you read newspapers? You saw an article in a newspaper. Did I get that right?
I don't know.
You don't remember? We gangster in every city we go. That sound about right?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
Shout out to Scozart. Thank you. Welcome to Trisha.
Now, when you post things on social media, who puts the captions on your posts?
Who said I posted that?
I'm asking you a question, not that you posted it. I'm asking you who puts the captions on your posts.
Anybody I get a phone to and ask them for a caption.
So you ask people to put captions on your posts? All right. When you talked about the Club Crucial fight where Woody got jumped on, you and Thug stayed in the club while everyone else went outside after Woody got jumped on. Is that right?
I don't know.
That's what you told the police though, right?
I don't know.
And you told the police that everybody went to get guns, right?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police that Thug was the money?
What?
Did you tell the police that Thug was the money?
I don't know.
Okay. Did you talk to the police about Shannon swinging on Bloody J?
I don't know.
Did you talk with the police about who shot up Lucci's mama's house?
I don't know.
Shout out to Starfly. Thank you.
Did you tell the police that? Okay.
I think I have one practitioner. I gotta check my email. But yes, for those of you that are interested in this course, I actually have an affiliate code. Let me dig it up in my email, practitioner, and I will share it with y'all tomorrow. But anybody that's interested in Lead's course, like this is how I learned live streaming, 100% worth it. 1000% worth it. Everything that I do, I've learned from him. Camera, lights, all of that. It's an 18-hour course. I mean, shout out to Lead. He puts the whole thing in your mouth. It's been a while since we've heard that. But if you guys want a discount code, I think I get like 20 to 40% off if y'all use my discount code. It might actually be up here on my bookmarks, but let me dig the email up from when he first sent it to me. But yeah, y'all can Y'all can absolutely check out Lead's course for a discounted rate using my code. But so many people have learned from him. If you're interested in streaming, and you can't get to me because I do consultations. I do hour-long consultations. In fact, someone booked one today. But when it comes to these, I would absolutely point you guys, if you're interested in YouTube, to learn from Lee, because that's how I learned. And as you can see, it works. So I will let you know tomorrow, practice her, but I'm going to put that on my list of things to do tonight, and I'll keep you posted. Okay. And that goes for anybody else that's interested. So it looks like they're doing another bench conference right now. Shout out to Tanya with the 5, says, yes, AV, those sprinkler personalities are annoying. Yes, they are. They totally are. Especially when it comes to like black hair, right? Like if let's say I go in with braids, because I've done that before. One day I went in with braids, right? And I don't wear braids like that, but from time to time I might. So I go in and it's like, okay, if your hair is this, looks like this, and then it's different the next day, they're like, how did you do that? It's like, I got it done, dude. Like that. I got it done. Thank you so much, Tanya. Shout out to Howell with who's gifted 1 AV membership. Thank you so much, Howell. Very nice of you. Across the pond. Our cousins across the pond. I know Howell is in the UK, so it's great to see you. Thank you so much, Howell, for gifting a membership. If you've got one of those, say thank you to Howell. Shout out to Kelly, who became a member. Welcome, Kelly. And if that is you and your family, beautiful family, Kelly, love to see it. We're a family channel over here with the cursey words. Shout out to Emily. Shout out to Happy Bird, who's been a member for a month. Thank you for your time over here, Happy Bird. She says, thank you, AV. Thank you, my friend. Always good to see you. Shout out to Gavin with a $4.99. Gavin says, if this case does reach the mark of the longest case in U.S. history, how do they continue with the BS? I wonder what the longest case in United States history is. We got to ask ChatGPT. I wonder which one that is. I should know that. We're going to look that up. Fun fact. Thank you so much, Gavin. Shout out to Audrey. No question, no comment, pure love of the game. Really appreciate you, Audrey. Let me come to our Cash App crew. See who we got over here. Shout out to Full Drinking and Half Thinking with the 18. Thank you so much. Hits me with a little coffee emoji. Good morning to you guys. It's afternoon now. Shout out to Michelle with the $1. Says, have they proved any connection to Jeffrey? The answer is they have not. They have not. They have not seen that yet. Who else we got? Shout out to Teresa. $10. No comment, no question, pure love of the game. Everybody returning back to their seats. Shout out to Liz with the $1. Says, doesn't that security guard look like Moontoon? He does. I've noticed that too, sis.
Thank you, Judge. Oh, there it is. Mr. Zachary, at the time that Lucci's mom's house got shot up, Lucci was hanging with Kellen then, wasn't he?
I don't know.
You told the police that, didn't you?
I don't know.
All right. You believed that at one point, Kel shot at Summer at the Crystals, didn't you?
I don't know.
All right. Do you remember telling the police that Trevia and Summer's cousin were at the Crystals and Kel and them had words?
I don't know.
Do you remember telling the police that during that time you were in Miami
I don't know.
and you weren't in that car?
I don't know.
Do you remember telling the police that the night when Demikian got jumped was the first time they ever let you ride with them when they went to do something?
I don't know.
You told the police that you had bought a 7.62 and a Draco, correct?
I don't know.
And in fact, you bought the Draco for yourself when Summer's car had gotten shot up, right?
I don't remember.
Thank you, Terrence, for that cash app that just came in.
Do you remember the police asking you who runs YSL?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police that Thug wasn't right there when they started YSL?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police that your brother and Slug started YSL?
I don't know.
Did the police ask you, what about DK?
I don't know.
Do you know who DK is? Do you know Walter Murphy? Did you tell the police that Tay, Slug, and a few of their friends who grew up together started YSL?
I don't remember.
Did you tell the police that Slug told Thug what was going on and Thug just ran with it?
I told him he was just a rapper, so and that's his friend, so that's why I remember telling him.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, one more time for me.
I remember telling him that he was a rapper and that was his friend stuff. I remember telling him that.
That who was a rapper
Mr. Williams.
and who was his friend's stuff?
YSL.
Who was his friend?
Slug.
And that Thug just ran with it.
I just say he just put it in songs.
Okay, that's what you said. All right. Now, did you, during the time that you knew Mr. Williams early on, did you ever know him to be with Rock Crew?
I don't remember.
Huh?
I don't remember.
Did you tell the police that Jeffery Williams was never Red Cartel, he was with Rock Crew?
I don't remember.
Did you tell the police that Rock Crew and YSL are the same thing?
I don't remember.
Did you tell the police that they fell out with Boo because Boo was snitching on Mo, and that's when they started YSL?
I don't remember.
Did you tell the police that YSL is a gang, but it's also a clothing name, just for the record?
I don't remember.
Did the police show you some photographs? Specifically, they showed you one of Doo-Wop.
I don't remember no photos.
Did you sign a picture of Doo-Wop and put your signature over it?
I don't remember no photos.
Did you look at a picture of Nard?
I don't remember no photo.
Did you tell the police about how long Moontunk knew your dad?
I don't remember.
Right. Did you identify Yak for the police?
I don't,
Did you identify Shannon for the police?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police or write for the police an SB over Shannon's picture?
I don't remember.
Did you tell the police that SB stands for Shannon Badass?
Man, ain't nothing bad about it. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh,
Did you tell the police that the night that Donovan Thomas got killed, Shannon had a 45?
I told you earlier, no. I don't remember.
Did you tell the police that Duop and Nard were in the car and Nard was driving?
I don't remember.
Did you tell the police that in addition to Shannon, Nard also told you at Thug's house,
I don't know.
at the condo?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police how you linked up with Shannon, Thug, and Yak and the rest after Donovan Thomas' murder?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police that Monktoon called you?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police that Monktoon told you someone had killed Donovan Thomas?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police that Monktoon followed you to Thug's house?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police you left Summer's car at Thug's house when you all went to Miami?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police that Lil D was at Thug's house?
I don't know.
Did you point out or did you talk to the police about a different shooting that happened on April 26, 2015 at the Citgo on Jonesboro Road?
I don't know nothing about that.
Do you remember yesterday when I showed you a photograph, or not yesterday, but last week when I showed you a photograph and asked you if you recognized Nard in the photograph?
Totally don't know.
Okay. That's okay. Let me see. Is it? Yeah. I need a stick. Do you remember identifying Bentley in the photograph?
I don't know.
Do you remember identifying DK in the photograph?
I don't know.
Do you remember telling the police that Bentley had a little nitro every day?
Bentley, what?
Had the nitro every day.
I don't know.
Okay.
Wow, Seamus.
Do you remember talking to the police about the Little Wayne bus shooting?
I don't know.
Did you go to the compound that night?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police that you were with Slug when you went to the compound?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police that you went in two different cars?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police you were in a Benz, a white Benz?
I don't know.
Do you remember telling the police that you were at LaCroix before you went to the compound?
I don't know.
Do you remember telling the police that Thug's sister went to the compound because everyone was deep?
I don't know.
Do you remember telling the police that she was in her truck?
I don't remember.
Do you remember telling the police that it was an Explorer, a two-door Explorer?
I don't remember.
Do you remember telling the police that DK was with her when she pulled up?
I don't remember.
Do you remember telling the police that DK and them pulled her out of the car?
I don't remember.
Do you remember telling the police that the sister of Thugs that was there was Max?
I don't remember.
Do you remember the police asking you if after
the compound, did everybody go back to the studio at any time?
I don't know.
You may. All right, they're asking questions about the Little Wayne bus shooting right now. He is struggling. Do you see that walk off? Approaching the bench again. Shout out to James. He's like, even Buddy's like, damn, I really said all of that? He did. Shout out to Green Eyes, our classy clown. He says, just got in here and I know love is pissed. This direct harder than Diddy in a prison shower. Listen, some of y'all getting mad at me with the Diddy coverage. They're like, what did Diddy do to you, AB? I mean, it's just, listen, I had the idea and y'all loved it. Friday, I was editing some stuff, doing the business thing, you know me, right? And I'm working. And I was like looking at everybody that had like really good Diddy videos. And I was like, man, how many Diddy videos do we have? I looked it up. It was like something like 11 or 12. I was just like, I'm just going to stitch all these together because it was like, as the story was developing, we were like, oh my God, we have a documentary. Let's put it out. And you guys loved it. It's actually one of the higher performing videos I've ever.
Do you remember telling the police how you all went to the studio later on that night?
I don't know.
Do you remember talking about going to Magic City and La Crua
I don't know.
that night before you went to the compound?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police that Pee Wee was in his Camaro?
He was already locked up for it. So I knew it was on the news, yes.
Wait, I'm sorry, what now?
He was already locked up for it. Everybody knew it was on the news.
Okay, but I'm talking about the night of the shooting.
The night
Was Pee Wee in his Camaro?
You said, did I tell them? Yes, after he had already been convicted of it.
Okay.
At the time, were you at the compound when Pee Wee and Max and DK were all at the compound?
I don't know.
So do you remember whether or not Pee Wee was in his Camaro?
I don't know.
And do you remember telling the police that Pee Wee was in his Camaro?
I remember seeing it on the news and I ran with it.
Is that the only way that you knew Pee Wee was in the Camaro?
Yes.
Did you tell the police, or rather, did you ever go inside the compound once you got there?
I don't remember no compound.
Do you remember telling the police that you never went inside the club and a lot of you all did not go inside the club?
I don't know.
Do you remember Detective Gaither asking you what was y'all's reason for going there?
I don't know.
Do you remember answering, just go in the club? I guess they had YSL shirts on and stuff.
I don't know.
Your Honor, just 1 second before I ask the next question. Did you tell the police, or better yet, did Pee Wee, was he also known as Roscoe?
I don't know.
All right. And did you believe that Pee Wee went in there just to get into it with Wayne?
I don't know. I don't know.
Did you tell the police that he just wanted to be seen, start shit, or just be seen?
I don't know.
Do you remember telling the police that after the bus was shot, you met up at the studio and that Max's truck was in there, was with them, and Pee Wee's car?
I don't know.
Right. Do you know what gang Pee Wee Roscoe is in?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police he's a Crip?
I don't know. You keep saying something about this same incident. I told you everything I said about it was already on the news.
Okay. Was Shannon present with you and the other people I just named on the night everyone went to the compound?
I don't know.
Did Shannon FaceTime Thug that night?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police that Shannon FaceTime Thug, but Thug didn't answer?
No.
You didn't tell him that?
I don't think I said no Shane. I don't know.
Did you tell the police that you were right there when he FaceTimed Thug, but he didn't answer?
I don't know.
Did you tell the police that you? Yes. Your Honor, if we can approach, I can show the court. And Mr. Zachary, let me rephrase and apologize. Was Roscoe, were you present when Roscoe FaceTime Thug,
I don't know.
not Shannon? All right. Do you remember telling the police that Roscoe FaceTime Thug, but that Thug didn't answer?
Yeah, I remember because they kept trying to make it seem like Mr. Williams had that set up. Yes, I remember.
And what now?
Yes, I remember telling them that because they kept trying to make it seem like Mr. Williams told them to do it.
Told who to do what?
Roscoe to do what he did.
Okay. And do you remember telling the police that you were at a gas station on Northside Drive when that happened? When Roscoe FaceTime Thug?
Yes, because they kept trying to make it seem like Mr. Williams had something to do with it, and I was telling them he didn't.
Now, when you say they kept trying to make it seem like that, what happened to make you believe that?
Because the way they were sent, like, oh, like they'll say something, oh, ain't nobody just doing that without getting proved from this person to that person. I'm like, man, don't nobody tell nobody what to do. I'm like, he ain't, you know what I said. You got paper if you gonna tell the truth.
You understand that the only person that can give testimony is you on the stand, right? That was the question. Okay. Now, did you ever buy a gun for Woody?
I bought it, and I think he stole it or something like that.
You think it got stolen?
I remember buying a gun.
Uh-huh. Okay. Did you buy that gun for Woody?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did you remember telling the police that you purchased a Taurus PT 140 40 caliber firearm?
Yes,
Do you remember seeing the receipt for
yes,
the guns?
yeah.
Do you remember seeing your handwriting on a receipt for a Diamondback 223?
Yes.
Do you remember talking to the police about a gun that you left in Montung's car?
Yes.
All right.
Man, how long I'm about to be up here, man? Goddamn head. What?
I said, I'm almost through.
Keep asking these same questions. Yes, I remember everything about the guns I bought.
Okay.
I'm convicted of it.
All right.
I'm trying to have patience, y'all. I'm up
Do
here.
you
Chest
remember
hurt, head hurt.
Okay. Did the police, after you were arrested with that gun at the gas station, do you know if they searched your house?
Yes.
And do you know everything that they found?
No.
Okay. Did the police ask you about Demikion Garlington's phone number?
I don't know.
Okay.
We done.
Mr. Jeffery, you're welcome. Have that water if you want. And take some deep
I need
breaths.
some drugs. Narcotic, like I got chronic care issues, you know that. She keep asking the same questions.
She's also asked you if you needed somebody to get your prescription. If they called it up, what the price?
They might kill me. I'm scared.
And that was what-
Thank you. Do you remember talking to the police about if gang shooting on Empire Park at YSL?
I don't remember.
Do you remember telling the police or identifying for the police doo-wop in his car?
I don't remember.
Do you remember telling the police that you knew Nard since you were 12 years old?
I don't remember.
Do you remember IDing Yak for the police?
I don't remember.
Do you remember telling the police about a Draco with a shoulder strap
I don't remember.
that Nard had the day before the murder?
I don't remember.
Do you remember telling the police that Nard was from Browns Mill?
I don't remember.
Do you remember telling the police that Nard had Bentley's Nitro every day?
I don't remember.
Do you remember telling the police that Roscoe is a hype man for Jeffery Williams?
I don't
Do you remember telling the police, in addition to Yak, Shannon, and Doo-Wop, that defendant Williams also allowed Nard to drive the Infinity?
I don't remember.
Huh?
I don't remember.
Now, did you tell the police that you saw defendant Shannon Stillwell I'm sorry. Did you tell the police that you went to Florida with Demikion, Shannon, Kenneth, Diamante, and Nard?
I don't remember.
Did you tell the police that Nard left for Florida before the other people did?
I don't remember.
Did you talk to the police again in 2017?
I don't remember.
All right.
You gotta go through all this same stuff again?
Do you think you remember more about 2017?
No, I don't remember nothing 2017. I don't remember nothing. You keep asking me the same question. I'm up here in pain, chest hurting, head hurting. That's illegal. I don't know about my rights, but I'm pretty sure y'all violating them.
Will the court be willing to give, the witness a moment to get some Tylenol or?
I'm allergic to Tylenol.
Will the court be willing to give us a brief break to see if we can get some back?
Yes.
Pain?
Yes.
Where I go?
Okay. Date. So is there anything anybody needs to bring up or deal with, or any short matters? Yeah, why don't everybody come up to the bench? So I'm not going to adjourn for the day. Whoa, hang on, sorry, my bad. I mean, I'm going to wait for a few minutes for Miss Love to come back, just in the event she might have something to report that we all need to hear. I doubt it, but soon as we hear back from her, I think we can adjourn for the day.
No, we just,
Okay.
no, we can, I think we can accommodate what he needs to get.
Okay. All right. Well, if there's nothing else for today, I will see everybody at the designated time tomorrow.
No. Okay.
All right.
Okay, I guess they're done for today. Well, thank you guys for coming in. Hey, Anthony. I will try to get back online tomorrow. Have a good evening.